taking on number 13, Ole Miss. Swayze Field, our backdrop this afternoon. I'm Danny Wexelman with Greg Olson, 2021 College Baseball Hall of Fame Auburn alum. Greg, yesterday's doubleheader, it was all Florida.
Yeah, they did exactly what they wanted to get done yesterday in the doubleheader. They won both games, go into today with a chance to sweep, but it was all about the middle of the lineup for Florida. Caglione, 3 home runs, Rivera a home run, Riopelle a home run, and Langford a home run. And then the Florida bullpen does what it's been doing all season, and they just shut the door.
Yeah, that was a question mark coming into this year, Kevin O'Sullivan, but they did such a great job in games 1 and 2. Game 1, Ole Miss just 6 outs away with a 3-run lead, and then in game 2, it was all Florida. As you mentioned, Jack Caglione with 3 home runs on the day. He leads the nation. That offense for Florida has been super, super loud, really dangerous, and it's going to be a tough task. The man on the mound starting for Ole Miss, they're trying to salvage this series at home. That's Xavier Rivas, the left-handed pitcher out of Indianapolis. He transferred over, and Mike Bianco really excited about his potential, excited he's got a lefty in the mix, Greg, and excited to put him into this weekend rotation.
Yeah, had an unbelievable 2 years at Indianapolis. Went 10-1 with a 2.8 ERA. He's going to feature a fastball, low to mid-90s. Breaking ball slider is really good. He's going to use that early and often. But so far, pretty good start. Last week against Vanderbilt, 5 innings pitched. Only gave up 1 hit, but 3 earned runs in the loss.
Yeah, the series win for Florida. That's the first time they've won on the road at Swayze since 2008. That's the inaugural season for Kevin O'Sullivan. And this is going to be the offensive lineup for the Florida Gators. Cade Curlin had the go-ahead run in game 1 yesterday. He'll lead off. Wyatt Langford back this weekend. He DH'd yesterday, and now he'll be playing left field, batting second for the Gators. And then you see there Jack Caglione, who is the starting pitcher, and he's also batting third. The job that he does, it's undescribable, Greg, so we'll get a chance to see him on the mound, but first we'll get to see him bat in this lineup.
Yeah, yesterday in the doubleheader, went 5 for 8 with 3 home runs and multiple RBI. Had an unbelievable day.
We're going to check out the defense behind Rivas this afternoon. I'll start in front. We'll go with Calvin Harris, who will be his battery mate, and you see around the field, Ethan Groff will be manning center field for the Rebels. Anthony Calarco over at first base. And Jacob Gonzalez, the guy we have our eye on, the defense he plays is unbelievable. Kemp Alderman as well, a name that we're becoming even more familiar with this afternoon. All right, this is Rebels head coach Mike Bianco coming off their 2022 championship run. What a job he's done with this program, 23 seasons at Ole Miss, and he's the winningest coach in program history. Last year, their run, Greg, counted out. Nobody thought they could make it. Nobody thought they would even get as far as they did, and they go all the way. I got a chance to watch that run up close, and man, oh man, was it special.
Yeah, I mean, they got off to a slow start, and they were considered dead at 7-14 in the SEC and reel off 7 wins in the last 3 series to get into the tournament and make a run.
Yeah, what a special job. And this season so far, they're still trying to find their way. A little bit of trouble when it comes to their starting pitchers, but listen, this is a team, you don't mess with them. They put up a ton of runs yesterday, just wasn't enough against the Florida arms, the bullpen, and the offense that they sport. Again, they lead the SEC and the nation in a bunch of different categories. And Cade Curlin's going to lead them off, the freshman who came to campus early, wanted to be a part of this team, and has done such a good job in the leadoff spot. On the ground, he hits that ball. Gonzalez makes the throw over so easy for the first out of the frame.
Well, nice start for Rivas. Fastball in on the hands on an 0-1 count. And I am so excited to watch these shortstops today. Gonzalez and Rivera, this is going to be some high-end shortstop play at the plate as well.
Yeah, the defense, again, Ole Miss, they've got a .983 field percentage. That's second in the SEC. So it's got to be nice to go on the mound and know that the defense behind you can make so many great plays. This is Wyatt Langford, as we mentioned. Back in the lineup this weekend, he was out March 1st against Siena, had a groin injury. Greg, they thought he'd be out 4 to 6 weeks, and he's back already in the lineup playing left field this afternoon for the first time since early March.
Yeah, that's a big lift for them. Got, as you said, 16 games started, missed 2 weeks, and then came back yesterday. Quiet first game, 0 for 4 with a walk, but then turned it on in the second game, 2 for 5, a home run, RBI, and got right back into the mix.
Yeah, he was taking BP earlier this week, and Sullivan Bortner, the SID for Florida, giving us this amazing information. And basically he said, I want to come back. I'm ready to be back. Put me back in. And so he DH'd this weekend, and now he gets a chance to play the field. And this is a guy, I mean, his story is so good. If you haven't heard it or had a chance to kind of dive into his numbers, Greg, but his freshman year, 4 at-bats, pinch hit, didn't play. This was the dude in high school. He was the dude for his baseball team, for his football team, and he comes in and he sits his freshman year and put in the work to come back and be the player that he is right now.
Yeah, I mean, you get the scouting report and you talk to people, and this kid has the potential to be a 1-1 in the MLB draft. It's the type of talent that he has.
Yeah, he's worked the count full against Rivas. Patience at the plate after missing some time. And we know that he has the power, went yard in yesterday's doubleheader. He lifts that ball in the air. Coming over to make the catch, TJ McCants for out number 2.
I mean, you see the respect that he gets. That's a 3-2 breaking ball. Yes, it was elevated, but it was coming in on the hands. He stayed back. The slider beat his bats for an easy F9, but with the guys standing behind him, Caglione, Rivera, that's a lot of respect to show the 2-hole guy.
Jack Caglione steps in. I think the most synonymous name right now with college baseball and what he's doing. Just a sophomore, had Tommy John in 21. Came back and was a DH last season for the Gators and is now a 2-way star. He rips that pitch in the air, right field, gone. Jack Caglione hits the ball out. Didn't take him long. His 4th home run of the weekend, his 17th on the season. And he's not even done yet. He hasn't even pitched on the mound yet in this game. He's already hitting the ball out of the yard.
Well, this is what you love about college baseball. He's the 1 and DH in the batting lineup. 1-0 slider, pretty decent location. You can see the catcher set up and he's getting to the corner. Just slightly elevated. Caglione is sitting all over it and hammers it to right center.
There's not a ton of holes in that swing, Greg. When you see how big he is, when he steps into the box, that ball's hit on the ground, right side. Josh Rivera, that'll be an out for the Rebs. But Jack Caglione puts the Gators on the board. They're up 1-0.
With your feet on the air and your head on the ground, try this trick and spin it, yeah.
Next up.
Thank you.
Enjoy.
Where's my mind? Where's my mind?
It was me the whole time!
Well done, ma'am.
What did I do exactly?
With Snapshot from Progressive, you get a personalized discount for doing exactly what you're already doing, being a safe driver.
Congratulations.
This is a bowling trophy.
Yeah, it's the biggest one they had.
Okay, thanks.
And a good one.
He's not your regular college pitcher. He's extra special. Jack Caglione out on the mound starting for the Gators this Sunday. The lefty just went yard in his last at bat. You go yard, you round the bases, and then you get to come out and pitch, Greg, just how they drew it up.
It's just unbelievable. That's what I was trying to talk about a little bit. The inning went away so fast, but only in college baseball do you have, and high school baseball obviously, but you have a guy that's the number 1 on your scorecard and then /DH. So he hits a bomb, runs the bases, gets in there, probably gets enough time to get a drink of water, and he's back out here. And you are going to see those numbers on that fastball are not incorrect. It's going to be 94. He might touch 99. He's got a nice sweeping breaking ball that, if you remember Randy Johnson and his breaking ball, more of a 10 o'clock to 4 o'clock on the clock face. But it's pretty special stuff on the mound as well at the plate.
Yeah, Tommy John surgery in 2021. He was the DH in 28 games down the stretch last season. And so this is this season, and his first start this year was the first time he pitched in a game since high school. And this is the lineup he'll be facing against the Ole Miss Rebels. Ethan Groff will be leading off, playing center field. Kemp Alderman, who is a name, man, we are becoming so familiar with the power that he's shown and just the bat-to-ball skills as well. He's batting third. Calvin Harris will be in the 4-hole as well as we get started. And ball one low to Groff. There's that slider, Greg, sweeping across. I know you're excited to see a little bit more of this as we get his game this afternoon. It's a 1-1 count, and that makes it 2-1.
Yeah, it's just it's a low arm slot. He's not as tall as Randy Johnson, but the arm slot, the slider, the fastball velo are all pretty similar. And I have to go all the way back to high school to remember being, as amped up as you are. You hit a home run and then you run around and then you step out on the mound and you're pitching again. And just the adrenaline that you have that you normally don't necessarily always have as a starting pitcher.
All right, here's the defense for the Gators this afternoon. Luke Heyman, the freshman, gets the start behind the plate. He'll be catching Caglione. BT Riopel, also platooning catcher. He'll be over at first base. Josh Rivera, you mentioned, Greg, excited to see him over at shortstop. And then we said it too, Wyatt Langford batting second, and he's playing the field. He's been out since March 1st with a groin strain. They thought he'd be out 4 to 6 weeks. He comes back because he's that good of an athlete, and he gets the start in left field this afternoon.
Yeah, I'm sure he had to push his way through the training staff and the coaching staff, but once he's shown that he can run and do everything effectively out in the field, then he was out there and to go. Nice start right there. Caglione with the first pitch slider down and away, and tough lefty-lefty matchup.
An 0-1 count to Jacob Gonzalez. Gonzalez known for his elite pitch and strike zone recognition. He hits for average, he hits for power. It's a name we've been so familiar with. His glove, so impressive over at shortstop, but the bat as well. High draft prospect this year in the 2023 draft. One of the most decorated athletes right now, preseason All-American. A lot of different awards to his name. And that's a ball, makes it a 3-1 count.
I mean, it's not going to be a great look right here. I don't think. It's a really tough matchup, lefty-lefty. But I love the fact that he has not left the batter's box. He is staying in there going, come on, let's go. You're going to come with the fastball or something that I'm going to want to hit. And he's going to put a good swing at it. U.S. national team member last summer. So he has seen it and done it.
The pitch squares around, that one high, and he'll work a walk. So back-to-back walks issued to the Rebels, and that's going to bring up Kemp Alderman, the left fielder, this afternoon. Kevin O'Sullivan, the head coach of the Florida Gators, 7 College World Series appearances. They won it back in 2017, and we mentioned that Florida hasn't been able to come in to Swayze and win on the road since 2008, his first season. So a big win, a big series win this weekend. They're trying to sweep.
Yeah, good start for the Gators on the road so far this season, 5-0. Obviously yesterday getting 2 of them, but it's exactly what you want to do when you get on the road, is find a way to win 2 games in the SEC and walk out of a road series with a win.
You see Riopel coming over, having a quick conversation with Caglione, giving him a little tap on the shoulder. Greg, those conversations just to slow him down a little bit?
Yeah, and I like the fact that it was Ryopel. He just came over and on his own. The catchers usually have that job, but it looked like a little bit of a motivational speech. And here's what you need to do to get it done. And not mechanical, just more of probably a focus conversation. But looked like BT was kind of getting into it going, and it was a one-way conversation, which you usually don't see.
Often found behind the plate as well for the Gators. That ball's hit on the ground to Cade Kurland, who goes to Rivera over to first in time for the double play. Wipes out the base runners, excuse me. That is Groff over at third base. Let's see this one more time.
This is just a routine double play, and it's showtime coming across. Throws a strike, and whatever BT said on the mound, that was perfect. Nice location on that fastball.
So just like that, 2 outs in the bottom of the first. That'll bring up Calvin Harris.
Mike Bianco is not mixing his lineup too much. He's got his big guys here in the middle, and even though they got a tough lefty-lefty matchup, he's not moving them around. Gonzalez is going to stay in the 2-hole. Harris is going to stay in the 4-hole, and he's trusting the fact that they're going to put together good at-bats and do what they can with the situation.
Caglione ahead 0-2 in the count. Harris reaches down for that one, drop third strike, so Heyman fires over to first, and that'll end the inning. So a runner stranded, a double play, and Florida keeps their lead as we move to the second.
With your feet on the air and your head on the ground. Try this trick and spin it, yeah.
Next up.
Thank you.
Enjoy.
Where's my mind? Where's my mind?
It was me the whole time.
Well done, ma'am.
What did I do exactly?
With Snapshot from Progressive, you get a personalized discount for doing exactly what you're already doing, being a safe driver.
Congratulations.
This is a bowling trophy.
Yeah, it's the biggest one they had.
Okay, thanks.
Oh, and a good one.
It's a beautiful Sunday afternoon in Oxford, Mississippi. Swayze Field cooking up a good one. The grill's going, the friends are out. We got our chairs, the backdrop. What more would you want for this beautiful spring day? Jack Caglione gives the Gators a 1-0 lead in the first, and that's where we sit here as we move along in the top of the second. But Greg, I want to go hang out with the fans, honestly. Like, we're calling the game here, but I think I might want to be in the stands for this one.
Yeah, I was looking at the burger and sausage going, man, I could sit out there. I think I wouldn't get a great view of home plate, I don't think, but I could sit out there and call the game if you guys can figure out how to wire a headset all the way around.
Might be able to figure that out later in the season, huh? This is BT Ryopel. You saw him come over, have a little chat with his pitcher, and then after that gets a double play. He'll lead off for the Gators. Xavier Rivas back out on the mound for the Rebs. And he takes a strike, a 1-1 count. So Ryopel, the senior catcher, Greg, this is a guy who's come back at age 23, giving this team some veteran leadership, and you saw that in the first.
Yeah, I mean, I love the fact he went in there and didn't leave it to his other guy catching today, Luke Heyman. He went out there and had the conversation, and it was a little bit mechanical, but I think it was more of a psychological, hey, you know what? Get your focus down. Right now everything's a little bit loose. Try to relax, take a deep breath, whatever their conversation is that they have found to be effective, and really settled Caglione in and gets a really nice fastball down and away and gets a routine 4-6-3.
The 3-1 pitch. That one ripped foul count full. And I think it goes to show you the theme of yesterday, Greg, if you're looking at the box score and you're looking at the comparisons between these two teams, there's a lot of similarities in what they did. And it shows you how dangerous Ole Miss can be at the plate. It's been the pitching, I think, that's been more of a softer point for them, and they're trying to figure it out as a big swing through strike 3 for Riopel, 1 down for the Rebs.
Better location. That 3-1 fastball was up and in. Riopel pulled it. This fastball gets away, and he amplified velocity a little bit. So the first one was 88. That one is 90. And if Riopel's timing it up, that 2 miles an hour is going to be a big enough difference. He's going to get a swing through, and it's going to be by him.
That brings up Luke Heyman, catcher behind the plate this afternoon, getting the start. The freshman comes in and takes a big breaking ball for ball 1. I think the offense for Ole Miss is still as strong as ever, but this Florida lineup is relentless. I mean, there's no holes right now. They've just really figured out a really good rhythm, and I think that was a difference maker yesterday.
Yeah, it was. There wasn't much of a difference in the box scores. Game 1, 9-7. Both teams had 11 hits. Florida even had 2 errors. And then game 2, it's 12-8 and 13 hits for Florida and 10 for Ole Miss. It's just that the difference is really small, but got to find a way to hold the Gators down for a couple innings and let your offense get settled in.
Yeah, here's the comparison you can see coming into today. Batting average is there, hits there, as Heyman takes strike 1. I mean, the home runs for Florida over the top right now, what they've been able to do. But if you just look at the box scores from yesterday, I mean, they're pretty similar. And I just think, there's room to grow. And listen, Ole Miss last year, I think we saw that tremendously from them as Heyman works a 1-out walk.
You know, if you have one issue right now, Rivas has put up some pretty good numbers, 4-1 on the year, but you got a 5.4 ERA. He's only got 18 hits in 23 innings. But the walks at 13 in the 23 innings is a little bit higher than you want. So he's got to find a way to get locked back into the zone, especially after you get a nice punch out. You want to get your offense back out there, and you don't want to put some traffic on base at your own expense.
Colby Halter takes strike 1. Halter hitting 300 300 this weekend with a run, 3 hits, a triple. He's kind of done it all as he swings through strike 2. So now Rivas ahead, 0-2 in the count.
Both of these pitchers will use that slider down and away, especially on this lefty-lefty matchup, to get a punch out. And it comes out and it looks like a fastball for a long time. But then all of a sudden you get this downward break of a couple feet, and it's sharp and it's on a downward angle, which the hitter is seeing a fastball initially. So that's why you saw that strikeout to end the inning last inning for Caglione against Harris. He's recognizing a 90-plus fastball coming down at the knees, and he gets the bat started, and it's sliding and down and away, a breaking ball in the dirt.
Good pitch from Rivas, but ball 1, so 1-2 count to Halter. Yeah, the sliders seem to be the pretty pitches this afternoon. We'll get a chance to see them on full display from both starting pitchers, the lefty versus lefty.
Yeah, we got a couple high-end pitches right here today, so this is going to be a lot of fun. Shortstop, sliders.
A check down with third base umpire Eddie Newsom. And a 2-2 count to Halter. Held his swing.
That was a good one. Rivas just missed with the 0-2 slider up and away. It was slightly elevated. Nice job by Harris to frame it down, but it was elevated. Then he goes with a better slider down and away, diving out. Halter's able to hold his swing.
That ball bounces, a block by Harris to keep it in front of him. That keeps Heyman over at first base.
Raymond's got a little bit of speed. Let's see if he tries to take off, tries to stay out of the double play situation here with the left-handed halter.
A full count, he came all the way back down 0-2. And he hits that ball in the air, trailing left field. Kemp Alderman makes the catch and gets it in for the second out.
Nice pitch by Rivas, fastball away. Gets a routine fly ball to left field. Big second out for Rivas.
With a head 0-2 and then gets the pop out. That brings up Ty Evans. Sophomore hitting .250 this weekend. It's got an RBI in there too. Check over on Heyman. As you mentioned, Greg, he's got a couple stolen bases this season.
Yeah, pretty much a token throw over to first base. Obviously not even close to Rivas' best, so he's just giving him a look, making him pay attention.
Can see Heyman takes his lead off, a 1-0 count to Evans. And he takes a strike. Good pitch from Rivas. Greg, the secondary pitches for these guys, I mean, we know Rivas is the transfer from Indianapolis, a little bit older, but the sophomore from Caglione, the secondary pitches have looked good to start the game.
Yeah, and that's about what you'd expect, and that's what Rivas has got to do, is he's got to come back. His fastball is good. It's 88 to 92, but it's not great. He can't rely on it and live on it. So you'll see some 1-0 breaking balls, some 2-1 breaking balls, and then he'll get the hitter thinking there's another breaking ball coming, and he'll punch that fastball inside for a strike. And that slider got away from him right there.
Yeah, he'll wear that pitch, head over to first base, so Heyman will advance as well. 2 down, now 2 runners on. Let's see this one more time. He's caught his heel.
Slider, yeah, he threw a nasty one. It looked like he tried to amp up some velocity, just pulled it a shade with his front opening up a little early. And Evans wears it on the back of the foot with the heel.
That brings up Michael Robertson, batting 9th in the lineup. He's got a lot of speed down in the bottom of this order. Just a freshman getting the opportunities in center field for the Gators. He takes a ball that trails outside, so it's a 1-1 count.
Some prominent freshmen on this high-octane offense spread throughout. Curlin leading off, Robertson down here at the bottom.
He rolls over, and Chatinier to Gonzalez for the third out. 2 runners stranded for the Gators. They still lead by 1 here at Swayze Field. Welcome back. The Florida Gators lead 1-0 over Ole Miss. These are the top 10 teams in D1 baseball as it stands this weekend. You can see Florida, the number 3 team in the country. LSU, number 1. They've held that top spot for the entire season. But I see a lot of parity in that top 10, Greg, and there you can see 11 through 20. But that's what I like to see, different conferences represented throughout the country.
Yeah, you got East Carolina at 10, you got Campbell at 18, so you got some high, you got a couple of mid-majors. That's what you love about college baseball. You can find guys all over the nation that can flat out play this game.
Every corner, there's somebody. I love to see that. You could see Ole Miss there, by the way, ranked 13th, as we mentioned, top 25 matchup as we get started in the bottom of the second. Peyton Chatinier leading off and takes a strike from Jack Caglione back out on the mound. Chatinier in the air, right side. Ty Evans gets under it to make the first out of the frame, a quick out for the Gators.
Well, that was just a pitching sequence. First pitch is a slider down and away, so this pitch is coming from the left-handed batter's box, catches the outside corner. And then Caglione comes with the fastball up and in and gets a fly out to right field. And the fastball just beats his bat.
Anthony Calarco steps in, the transfer from Northwestern, and takes ball 2 high. He's an all Big Ten player, playing in a bit warmer weather, I would say, as ball 3 sails inside. Goes from Chicago to Oxford, Mississippi.
Yeah, Chicago in the spring is nice, but I wouldn't want to be playing baseball that much. He draws a 4-pitch walk right there.
So the Rebs get a man aboard. Ethan Leger will step up and have an at-bat. Leger, played at Nicholls State and then transferred to Delgado, and now here at Ole Miss. He's pretty versatile on the infield and came in ready to play right away as he takes ball 1.
Yeah, had really nice numbers at Delgado, hit .399. He was drafted by Milwaukee in the 16th round, but he turned it down to come and play at Ole Miss.
There you can see some of the portal picks. These teams busy in the portal. We mentioned Ethan Groff earlier, came over from Tulane as Leger takes another ball. 3-0 count to him.
I think we're about 1 pitch away from BT coming over and having another one of those conversations.
It's the BT special, and that pitch lands for strike 1.
So 2 walks in the first inning. He gets a double play to wipe him out. And then right now he's in danger of walking 2 straight here in the second.
And he does. So back-to-back walks again, similar to what happened in the first. BT came over. I see him taking a little stroll, but I think it'll be more than just BT coming over to the mound.
And Kevin O'Sullivan's going to come out and have a short conversation, probably more focused on mechanical, just seeing what's going on with Jack. And if something's leaking open just a little bit and the timing's off, you can see it with his fastball. He's unable to really locate it consistently in the zone. And so you come out and you change up pitches. You try to throw a slider, or you do something a little bit different. That was what he started the first at-bat of the inning against Chatanier with a slider to start off, and then he came with a fastball, and the last bunch of misses have been fastballs.
So he gets some encouragement from his teammates. He comes back. There you can see some of the numbers entering this weekend, and what he's doing is special in the nation. Could you imagine you go yard as TJ McCants squares around and takes ball 1. You go yard and then you come back out to pitch. I mean, not an easy feat to do. It's just unbelievable. I mean, we see that with Shohei Ohtani at the big league level, and they make it look easy, but we know it's not.
No, and the amount of time you spend, and I know this as a pitcher, the amount of time that you spend working on your craft is a lot. Well, now just double it with the fact that you're spending all this time as a hitter, working on your swing, working on, just hours in the cages, and then you amplify that by 2 by working in the bullpen and doing everything you need to do. But he's got some pretty stupid numbers, and it'd be nice as a pitcher to have him as a hitter on your own team, hitting .412 in his starts on the mound. So, he's helping himself out both ways.
Yeah, and he helps himself out there. McCants can't hold the swing, so down in the count, 1 and 2. 2 runners on, 1 down in the bottom of the second. And that one is ripped foul.
Just didn't get that slider down and away. McCants, 2021 freshman All-American, scuffled a little bit at the plate last year. And right now he is hitting .282 on the season, so he's coming back closer to the form that he had in 21.
Yeah, he put on some good weight in the off season. He's the fastest guy on this team. And he can also hit it out of the yard. We've seen him do that too.
Oh, very talented. 7 home runs on the year. He's got 3 stolen bases, so multifaceted talent.
Jack Caglione gets the strikeout. McCants caught looking, 2 down for the Gators.
They fouled off a couple of sliders that were pretty decent hitting, and then all of a sudden, after seeing those sliders coming right at him, here's a 93 painted on the corner. That's just not fair.
It's a tough look.
Slider, and then here's paint on the corner.
That'll bring up Reagan Burford, the DH for Ole Miss this afternoon. Will Furness was the DH in yesterday's doubleheader, so Burford gets the opportunity batting in the 9 hole. He'll come up 2 on, 2 down in the bottom of the second. And he swings at that pitch, hits it in the air, tags it good, coming over, making the run, and the diving catch, Ty Evans. What a grab by the right fielder.
Ty Evans lays out in the gap. Great play to save a 2-run double at least. Keeps Florida. Yes, sir. I'm going to give him a high five when he gets to the dugout. Well done, Ty Evans.
Welcome back to Oxford, Mississippi. Swayze Field. Xavier Rivas back out on the mound for the Rebels. The Gators holding on to a 1-0 lead. Ole Miss threatening at the plate. Greg, they had 2 on. That's wiped away with a Ty Evans web gem. But that's what they do. They're threatening, but Florida's just been that much better this weekend. Wow, that is a rip off the bat, Cade Kerlin, but into Jacob Gonzalez's glove for the first out of the frame.
Nice pitch by Rivas, fastball in, ties him up. But yeah, back to your point. Florida has found a way just to be a little bit better than Ole Miss in both games yesterday. And then today, that was at least 2 runs that we're going to score and going to have another guy in scoring position for the top of the lineup coming around.
White Langford will step back up to the plate, flew out in his first at bat, and takes a ball just missing on the inside part of the plate. Swings at that slider, offers up, so a 1-1 count. And again, Greg, this guy, man, he's so impressive. We mentioned it. He missed time. He was out March 1st. Sienna sustains a groin injury. They thought he'd be out 4 to 6 weeks, maybe come back against Auburn, best case, as he takes another ball and ends up taking BP with the team on Thursday, hitting the ball gap to gap, and he said, hey, I want to play. And they put him back in the lineup as a DH and gets to play the field this afternoon. But this is a guy, I mean, he can pummel a baseball.
Well, it's the fact that he's able to come back that quickly from a groin injury is impressive. But you don't know, you never know. You can't tell how bad something's pulled or torn until the amount of time it takes to get back on the field. But he gets back quickly, wants it. And it doesn't matter how much you want it with an injury like that. But picks a walk right there. And I don't know if I would have walked or tried to. I don't think he tried to, but it was a bunch of sliders down and in.
Yeah, now he's got to face this guy. Jack Attack. Caglione started the game on the mound. But before he did that, he went yard to give the Gators that 1-0 lead. Steps back up to face Rivas. And he rips the first pitch he sees. It's going to get down for a single into right field. And he's on base again. This is a dude, Greg, listen to this. He's the only player in the country with double-digit home runs and 30-plus strikeouts. The only guy in the country doing that.
Well, I mean, these last 2 at-bats have been thoroughly impressive. And he went up there in the first inning with the game plan that he was going to look for Rivas' slider, which he's seen a lot of them. All right, he's thrown a lot of them today, and he throws a lot of them behind in the count. So he went up there with a game plan on a 1-0 slider. He hammers it to right field. So me as a former pitcher, I'm sitting there going, all right, now what is Rivas and Ole Miss going to do to switch things around? Because Caglione just basically took away Rivas' best pitch with that slider. And so Rivas comes, throws a good 90-mile-an-hour fastball in right at the hands And Caglianone's able to get quick enough, get the hands inside, didn't hammer it, but hit it well enough that it was struck and gets the single to right field. And now, so fourth or fifth inning, whenever Caglianone comes back up, I want to see what the approach for Ole Miss is going to be now, because as far as I can think, Caglianone has taken away his 2 pitches.
That brings up Josh Rivera, who's in the hole 0-2 with 2 runners on. He's hitting .457 with runners in scoring position. He hits that ball in the air to right field. McCants makes the catch, and the runners will stay where they're at. 2 down for the Rebels.
0-2 slider up. See Rivera's power. He stays back long enough, hits it to deep right field, but with 1 out already on the board, the runners did not try to advance on the throw, didn't want to take the chance, wanted to give this guy a chance to hit.
Yeah, he's hitting .433 with 2 outs. That's BT Riopel who steps up. Takes ball 1 high.
After a couple sliders in the second inning, he struck out on a fastball away. So let's see how long it takes for Rivas to get back to that pitch.
And that pitch just missing, evens. It's a 2-0 count now.
Well, as we've talked about, Danny, he has an open base. You don't want to give in. Riopel, .323 on the season, can swing it. You know, has been around with all SEC last year, so you don't really want to give in and give him something to hit, but do you come up and basically unintentionally walk him and get to Luke Heyman in the next spot with the bases loaded?
Yeah, Riopel's had a great series against Ole Miss. Slugs over 1,100. He swings through that pitch. So a 3-1 count to Riopel.
Well, Kevin O'Sullivan gave him the 3-0 swing. He got something to hit, a fastball up and away, just fouled it off.
I would too. He's 23. He's a grown man.
Yeah.
I'd give him that green light too.
You know he's not going to go chasing something stupid out of the zone.
Riopel check swing, can't hold it, so full count.
Riopel's got to pick a pitch here. Either going to stay back on that slider or he's going to get a fastball away, which struck him out in the second inning.
Fans packed the park at Swayze. And that pitch called strike 3. 2 runners stranded. Rivas gets the job done himself.
Slider, fastball, and then this slider right here. 3-2 base runners are going. Big pitch by Rivas to keep Ole Miss right where it's at.
We got a lot of action around the league this afternoon. A couple of games. We got the scores. You can see Alabama beating number 23 Kentucky 4-3. Vanderbilt, number 4 Vandy, up 11-4 over Mississippi State, working on the sweep. They've scored more runs than I can count this weekend, playing on the road. And then Texas A&M trailing Tennessee right now. That game in the top of the 8th.
Wow, this Mississippi State is just a wow right now. Chance right now to go 0-6. We're looking at the same thing for Ole Miss. They're 0-5 so far on this season in the SEC. And this is a big game for them.
Yeah, this is a big game. Florida's had a lot of trouble on the road playing Ole Miss. They haven't won a series since 2008, and they get the job done this weekend. Back to the top of the order, Ethan Groff, and he swings out a strike. The count 1-1.
Yeah, but this is the SEC, where if you got a chance to sweep somebody and step on their neck and put them in a complete hole, Florida is going to do everything they can.
Groff in the air, shallow left, calling everybody off. Josh Rivera makes the catch.
Looking right up into the sun. Takes charge of the situation, calls off Langford. Makes that look easy. The A little bit of sun, I'm sure, right in his face.
It is a beautiful afternoon. I mean, not a cloud in the sky. That brings up Jacob Gonzalez, who hits the ball into Rivera's glove. Riopel can't make the pick, though. So Gonzalez safe at first.
Probably will go down as an error, I would think, from Rivera. He made the play. Backhand one step to his right. Makes it look really easy. This ball is struck. Plants his foot, just throws a missile in the dirt, and Riopel cannot pick it.
That was a tough pick on the ground, so that'll be a base runner for Ole Miss. That brings up Kemp Alderman. He had a fielder's choice, grounded out into a double play, his last at bat. He's hitting .375 this season, .761 slug.
Yeah, we've talked about Caglione, but this guy has elite power, and coming from the SID of Ole Miss and the analytics, his exit velocities are routinely around 110. So let's see if Mike Bianco gives him a 3-0 go at this pitch right here.
Coming into this weekend, 8th in the SEC in RBIs. He takes a strike on the outside part of the plate.
Go up, Bob. Wait right here.
Four RBIs so far this weekend. And he works a walk. So now 2 on for Ole Miss. And again, I mean, this is what they do, Greg. They get guys on. They're not able to move them over, bring them home. Somehow, I mean, not somehow, Florida's got a really good plan. They've got great defenders, but they also have Jack Caglione on the mound, who seems to just find the right pitch in the right moment to get out of the jam.
Yeah, he's made the pitch, and he's just, had made a mess last week against Alabama. 5 innings pitched, 5 hits, 5 runs, 6 Ks, 2 walks, and today it's been more about the walks, his 5th walk right there. And when you throw a 3-2 slider, and assuming his slider is about a 55% strike ratio, you're basically saying to Alderman, if I hit with this and I land it, then I got you 3-2, but if I don't, I'll take the chance on walking you and getting to the next guy, Calvin Harris, who's a lefty-lefty matchup.
A 1-1 count to Harris. On a knee, foul ball. That one got him, does not feel good. Mike Bianco's gonna call time.
His fastball's up and in. Drives it off the top of the inside of the knee. He got up pretty quick, because that hurts. I can't even describe how much that hurts, but Mike Bianco knows exactly how much that hurts, and he came out of the dugout. Wasn't going to let Harris get back in the box until we had a little bit of a conversation.
Great catcher in his own right, knows the pain that catchers take behind the plate. You sign up for it, I guess, but not when you're at the plate batting.
No, not off the knee, no.
He lifts that ball into center field. Michael Robertson, a little trouble with the sun, makes the catch. 2 down for the Gators. He's shaking his head there. He's got the glasses, but still tough to battle that sun.
It doesn't matter what glasses that you wear, you are not being able to see a ball when it gets in the sun. And he sees a big swing, and so initially stays back, then recognizes that it wasn't hit very well, starts running in, and by the time that he recognizes and the ball comes out of the sun, it's about 5-8 feet to his right. Makes a quick adjustment.
Peyton Chatinier takes ball 1 high. He flew out his first at bat. This guy's got a little sneaky power, if you can even call it that, for his size. Coach mentioned that to us. Don't be deceived. The guy's got pop.
Yeah, he's been working on cutting down his strikeouts. Done a nice job on that.
And he rips that ball to the third base side, bobbled a little bit, and no play for Colby Halter at third. That was a bullet off Chatnier's bat, and the bases are loaded.
Halter's been a solid defensive player for Florida. Second base, shortstop, third base. Pretty routine ground ball. It looks like he is so anxious to get over and get that force out at third base to end the inning that he leaves just a little bit early and ball comes up off the glove. Now Chatnier's on base and bases are juiced. Here comes Caglione with his best fastball of the day at 95.
Anthony Calarco swings through that strike one, walked in his first at bat, and quickly down in the count, 0-2.
It never fails in the SEC every week. You go out and you think that, as a team you got a good game plan, you got one of your best guys on the mound, and it doesn't matter. You just got to find a way to get out of traffic.
Big strikeout for Jack Caglione, leaves the bases loaded. We got a one-run game at Swayze. The Gators lead. Nice job by Caglione. He wanted that one, and he got it. Welcome back. Florida leads Ole Miss 1-0. This is a top 25 ranked matchup. Florida, the number 3 team in the country. Ole Miss ranked 13th. Xavier Rivas back out on the mound. The lefty, a transfer from Indianapolis D2 school, and he was so dominant this fall. And Coach Bianco excited for the opportunity to see him come into this lineup. This is Luke Heyman who takes strike one. And this is a cool chance, Greg. I haven't seen him pitch, and I know that you were excited to get a chance to see this lefty work. What have you seen so far?
I mean, he will throw a slider at any time in the at-bat. So the hitters go up there knowing that.
Luke Heyman. That ball, left field, gone. Heyman, solo shot in the fourth, gives the Gators a 2-0 lead. The freshman muscles up.
Well, I was about to say that they got to go up there with a game plan and they pick a pitch. It's either a fastball or slider. And Heyman gets this slider slightly elevated. It's a little bit out over the plate. And he's sitting all over it, drops the head of the bat on it, and this ball is no doubt gone. When your left fielder moves that far, it's gone.
His second home run this season. High fives in the dugout for him. Greg, I got to cover this guy when he was in high school, and he had the power then. It's nice to see it translating to the college game.
Yeah, we haven't even gotten to the fact that he walked more times than he struck out in his high school career. So pretty good guy coming in out of high school to take over a catcher spot.
Yeah, he's been working hard. Colby Halter at the plate and swings through strike 2.
So both of these pitchers have really done a nice job of pitching out of traffic, and the only difference in this game right now, it's 2-0 obviously, but have been 2 solo shots on the Rivas slider.
Halter hits that ball left field, going to stay in the park. Kemp Alderman makes the first out of the frame. Yeah, what do you think the difference has been? Because it does feel like the Gators have come up and seen that slider, and they've made an adjustment.
Well, I think both of these guys, you have to walk up and you have to have a game plan. You have to pick a pitch, and it's either going to be fastball or slider. And for me, it feels like Rivas is going to give you more sliders. Caglione's going to give you more fastballs. And so you go up there with an idea of what you're going to get each of the pitches. You really are. You're going to get a fastball from both guys. You're going to get a slider from both guys. It's just right now Rivas has left a couple of sliders elevated, and Caglione's been able to pitch out of traffic that he's created via the walk.
Rivas ahead 0-1 to Ty Evans, who hits this ball in the air, trailing back, and foul. Way out of play, out of the park. Did that one get out of the park?
Hit that girl that was walking down the hill?
I think it might have. You got to be careful. You're walking around Swayze. You got to be careful.
No kidding. I mean, nowadays with these guys, the way they can hit, you're going to have to beware of bats and balls leaving the field, and you're going to have to put it all the way throughout the stadium.
We'll have to work on that sign. I bet we could get that done.
Yeah, as soon as they enter that little sidewalk up in left field that they just had those girls walking down that hill, you just need to have a sign. Beware of balls flying out here because you might get hit by a bomb.
Evans rips a pitch foul, protects the plate. It's a 1-2 count. He was hit by a pitch in his first at-bat of the game. So this is cool because you get to come to the park, you can watch some baseball, you can hang out with your friends on the playground, one of my favorite places to be growing up. And that's where the ball landed. And that's a swing through the pitch, drop third strike. Harris will fire over to Calarco, 2 down for the Rebs.
So we need to have somebody with a glove protecting those kids in the playground while some foul ball bombs are going off.
Could you do that? Could you do that?
You know what? I would do that. I would, yeah, if I had my kids there, I'd probably put a glove on and peek around the corner every once in a while, make sure, just have somebody watching the game that's paying attention to where the ball's coming.
Yeah, I love that. Beautiful ballpark. Michael Robertson will step up, squares around, and that ball on the outside part of the plate, third base umpire Eddie Newsom says no, pulled it back, so a 1-0 count.
Robertson will lay down a bunt at any time. Every infield ball is going to be a threat for a base hit.
He strokes that one. It's going to get by Groff. He's going to stand up with a 2-out double.
I think we had some confusion out in the outfield between Groff and Alderman. So you see it right here. It is right in the middle of both of them. Looks like Groff calls it, but you never see the outfielder run in front of the center fielder. I think a little bit of distraction, and Groff was having a tough time. I think our son's going to be an issue from center field to left center. And I think he lost that ball in the sun for a little bit because you just saw the way that, he was there in plenty of time.
Yeah, the sun a little bit of a factor this afternoon. I mean, you wouldn't normally complain about a sky that didn't have any clouds, but there she is, shining bright in all her glory down on Swayze.
And that's what the center fielder was looking at right there. That ball gets up in the sun, it'll ride it for a little while, and you just hope it comes out of the sun because there's nothing you can do. You can put your glove up, you can have the best sunglasses that the world makes, and that ball gets in the sun, and until it comes out, you have no idea where it is.
It's a 1-1 count to Cade Curlin, back to the top of the lineup for the Gators, and he swings through a good pitch from Rivas for strike 2.
That's just tough for Rivas. He's out there and he makes a pitch. It should have been an F8 end of inning, and now he's got the top of the lineup rolling around and really didn't do a whole lot wrong right there.
Curlin, the freshman, came to campus early. He hits that ball on the ground, right back up the middle. Robertson coming around, and Groff's going to lob it back in. So the Gators, they take a 3-0 lead, a 2-out RBI for Cade Curlin.
Looks like a fastball up and away, and you can just see the way Rivas finished. He was not in a great fielding position. It was a decent ground ball up the middle, but you'd probably ask him and he'll tell you he should have had it. It just feels like Ole Miss has shot themselves in the foot for one run right there.
And now you got to face Wyatt Langford. They'll check over on Curland over at first base. It's a welcome sight seeing Langford back in the lineup. I could imagine his teammates pretty happy as well. They did a nice job, though, while he was out. Florida climbing up the rankings and kind of figuring out the offense, the pitching a little bit. This team has upgraded a lot this season.
Yes, they have. They did a nice job, as you said, keeping things rolling forward, but a team of this caliber, I mean, they've been to the College World Series 7 times since '08. It's more of a reloading. And so a key cog like Langford misses 2 weeks. You got some guys that are great players sitting behind him waiting for their shot.
And now Rivas ahead in the count, 1-2, 2 down and a runner on in the top of the fourth. Ball 2 evens the count.
Florida's done a nice job as an offense laying off of that back foot slider that Rivas throws. That's his strikeout pitch. That's his out pitch. They've done a nice job of laying off of it.
Does a nice job laying off that pitch, so works the count back full in the top of the fourth.
That is so frustrating, Danny, as a pitcher. You make 2 really good pitches. You think you got 2 pitches for a punch out.
All right, so my mistake, a 3-1 count to Langford. He took ball 3 high. And he takes strike 2. So now the count is full.
Yeah, we had a couple of pitches there where I thought they were strikes, and I was looking for the punch out right there, 1 and 2, and instead it was 3-0.
We got some sun in our eyes too, but we're better now.
I'll go with that.
The 3-2 pitch, Langford ropes that ball. Gonzalez spins and fires over to first base for the out. But Luke Heyman, the freshman, able to muscle up and give the Gators another run on the board. Such a good piece of hitting, and his teammates pretty happy about that one. That ball out of the yard. Gators lead by 3. Welcome back. Florida leads 3-0 over Ole Miss, bottom of the fourth, and Jack Caglione back out on the mound. You know you're good, Greg, when the opposing team's head coach says something like, "We're hoping he doesn't pitch as well as he hits or plays first base. He's sensational." Mike Bianco saying that about Caglione.
Well, so far so good. He's stranded 6 runners for Ole Miss and has done a really nice job of getting out of some traffic. He's got 5 walks on the day, but has been able to get through it.
Yeah, Ethan Leger, one of those walks, he'll step up now in the batter's box. 2-0 count. Bats 7th in the lineup. And, I mean, Caglione works so quickly, it's already 3-0 for Leger. And that one just missing. So another walk issued to Leger. Here's this week's featured college baseball game right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. Number 21, Texas A&M hosts old rival Texas in a non-conference matchup at Blue Bell Park. Coverage begins Tuesday night at 7 Eastern, 6 Central. Right now, A&M trailing Tennessee. That game in the top of the 9th. Tennessee leads 9-4. TJ McCants steps up and hits the first pitch he sees. Over to Kurland, who throws to Rivera for the double play. Caglione makes the pitch as defense backs him up.
Fastball up and in. McCann squares it up and hits it hard. Nice job by Florida, shading over into the 43 hole. Kurland comes up, doesn't get a great grip on it, makes the throw to Rivera, and he comes across the diamond and throws about a 95-mile-an-hour fastball for the double play.
Yeah, he's got an arm over there, so 2 quick outs for the Gators. That brings up Reagan Burford. He's a DH this afternoon, batting in the 9 hole.
That's been the story of the day, is Rivas has gotten out of some jams and a couple of solo home runs. Caglione has gotten out of every jam, and he has created a bunch of them with his 6 walks on the day. But he has gotten out of it with a couple of double plays and a bunch of punch-outs.
Yeah, working quickly again. It's a 3-1 count already to Burford.
Well, that seems to be the trend now, I think it comes up from travel ball. Is these guys are playing all these travel ball tournaments, and you got a 2-hour, 15-minute time limit. So the pitchers are just working really fast, and the hitters are used to it, so they're staying in the box. And if I had to look at it, the pitch clock, he's probably getting on the mound and turning it around by 16, 15. This one we're going to have a little bit more time because they're looking into the dugout to get the sign. But the hitter's got to be engaged at 10 seconds, and they say alert and ready. So he's alert and ready. Boom, comes up. A really good pitch.
Yeah, his 7th walk he's issued of the game. You can see the clock there, bottom left of your screen, facing the leadoff guy, Ethan Groff. Groff takes a strike on the outside part of the plate. Yeah, I totally agree with you, Greg. I mean, travel ball in general moves faster, right? And I think when you have that, you can come up here and apply it and use it to your advantage as he takes a ball on the outside part of the plate. Use it to your advantage as a pitcher, and I think you kind of see that at the big league level right now with the pitch clock coming into play. I think the pitchers have the advantage right now, but Caglione, that's another weapon in his arsenal that he uses.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of an advantage. I mean, the hitters sometimes need some time to get out of the box and everything else, especially when somebody's moving this fast on the mound. The old book used to be call timeout, step out, but now they only get one of those in at bat. So he's got to be in the box and ready. The 3rd walk of the inning right there. A couple of really nice sliders that just missed down.
All right, so now you got 2 on and 2 down. There's going to be a little mound meeting. Teams coming out. Ryapel puts a little pat on Caglione's back.
And this is just a timeout. It's a timeout in football, where we're just going to get together on defense here, have a little conversation, whatever O'Sullivan and BT have said over the past couple innings, and this is our 3rd technically a visit, but BT Ryapel came out, had a visit, got a double play right after that. O'Sullivan's come out twice now, and everything has worked. So whatever they're saying to Caglione is working.
Can you read lips, Greg?
I can guesstimate what's being said, but I'm not quite sure. No, I do not read lips at all.
Yeah, that's fair. That's all right. I wouldn't ask you to do that here. Big spot, though, for
If you got
Ole
the
Miss.
whole infield in there, Danny, if you got the whole infield in there, it's just kind of an overall motivational speech for everybody to make a play and get out of this jam.
Jacob Gonzalez takes ball 1. That one gets away from Heyman. The runners advance to 2nd and 3rd, so now 2 runners in scoring position. Gonzalez has walked in the game so far. Got on base, an error back in the 3rd for the Gators. So an opportunity for them to bring someone in. He's hitting .259 with runners in scoring position. Good block by Heyman for ball 2.
Yeah, he jumped on a first pitch fastball in the 3rd inning, hit a line drive to shortstop. It ended up being an error on Rivera, but had a good game plan, and right now he's probably looking for a fastball in or half, trying to do some damage and get back into this game.
Gonzalez rips that ball into left field. It's going to get over Langford's glove. 1 run will score. 2 runs will score. And the Rebels are on the board. A bases clearing double for Jacob Gonzalez.
Just about what you would expect from your best player. Mano on mano, 2-0 fastball. He gets it elevated. Gonzalez stays back, drives it to left field. And Ole Miss is right back in this thing with a 2-run double by Gonzalez.
Yeah, the first 3 innings of this game, Greg, they left 1 on in the first, 2 on in the second, and 3 on in the third. So you know that was an opportunity they didn't want to waste, having runners on again. And here you see Kevin O'Sullivan coming out to the mound. We're going to have a pitching change, and Jack Caglione goes 3 2/3 in this one. We're going to come back and introduce you to the new arm on the mound for the Gators. We'll be back. Welcome back. The Rebels on the board. They trail by 1 to Florida, and Blake Purnell will take over for Jack Caglione on the mound. Greg, the sophomore right-handed pitcher, comes in with a runner on and 2 down in the 4th.
Yeah, he inherits a little bit of a mess. You can see the deceptive arm slot, lower arm slot from the right side. He's got lots of movement on a horizontal plane, fastball slider. Fastball is going to be in the upper 80s, low 90s. And he's going to throw that slider 78 to 81. He'll feature a changeup as well, but you can see his numbers on the season. And he is one of those guys that with that low arm slot is able to pitch in probably every game this weekend if they needed him.
There's Jack Caglione, his day over. The sophomore went yard back in the first inning to get his team on the board. In a little bit of trouble. He's going to stay in the DH spot, but comes out of the game, off the mound. Still wildly impressive what he's been doing. But this Ole Miss lineup is dangerous, and you finally got a little chance to see that, I think, with that at bat. This is Kemp Alderman, who swings through strike one. Alderman batting .444 with runners in scoring position. This is the guy who leads his team in home runs. He's grounded into a double play and walked in this game, but you know that he loves to be here in this opportunity. 2 down with a runner on second.
Yeah, now he gets a tough matchup. Not that Caglione was not a tough one for him, but the righty-righty matchup with Purnell throwing from behind him and featuring a fastball slider coming out of the same zone.
That pitch tags that one right into the glove of Langford, though. So Jacob Gonzalez getting the job done, gets the Rebels on the board. They trail by 1. Welcome back. These are the SEC East standings. South Carolina, a cool 6-0 in conference play so far. Vanderbilt trying to make it the same, 6-0 against Mississippi State. They're going for the sweep this afternoon. You see Florida there, 4-1 so far in conference play. Greg, we had Missouri, who was picked to finish last in the SEC East. They've had a pretty good season so far, a little trouble with their pitching, but they've done a nice job.
They have done a nice job, and they should have won Friday night against South Carolina. South Carolina able to walk it off late. And the West is a little bit more clouded.
Yeah, it is. You can see LSU leading the nation, #1. They haven't given up that spot, 4-2 in conference play. Ole Miss 0-5. They're trying to change that. They're trying to turn a leaf here in Game 3 of this series. They were swept yesterday by Florida. And now Jack Caglione back at the plate, off the mound, but back with the bat. He takes ball 1 high. I mean, again, kind of walk through that mindset, Greg, because you got to flush what you did on the mound, not necessarily the outing that you're hoping for, but now he comes back with the bat.
Well, he's been getting it done at the plate with a home run and a single to right. Now I'm just watching to see how Rivas goes about this at bat with the slider, first pitch bomb in the first inning, and then a fastball hit to right field that was in. So you saw that fastball away. Let's see if he tries to use a wipeout slider down and away and then gets back to fastballs away.
Yeah, gets a good pitch, but Caglione rips it foul. So Rivas ahead 1-2.
Yeah, but Caglione, I mean, you get the chance. He didn't have a great day. He threw 70 pitches, 40 balls, 30 strikes, obviously not himself on the mound. And you get a chance to continue in the game and help your team win by staying at the plate and obviously batting in the 3-hole, which not very many people do other than Shohei Ohtani.
It's a goldfish mentality we hear all the time. You got to flush it, and I want to see how he responds here. And now he swings through strike 3. Rivas pumped up about that one down for the Rebels.
That was a pretty interesting reaction by Rivas. Great slider, perfectly located down and away. Soften it up just a little bit, gets the swing through, and he pops up and he turns around and he's waiting for the ball to get thrown around, and he's like, oh, wait, okay. He's going to throw it straight back. I just punched out the top hitter in the country. Come on, man, throw the ball around.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of respect. Honestly, that was a big out he felt like for himself to be able to get Jack Caglione, who went yard back in the first. So now 1 down, Josh Rivera steps up, takes a ball.
You saw the reaction. I love the reaction because you're sitting out there as a pitcher, and everybody has guys that they don't get out real well. And so all of a sudden you're sitting there and you're playing this cat and mouse game, and you finally become the cat. You've been the mouse first couple at bats, and now you're the cat, and so you saw the little hop around like, sweet. All right, I got that turned around.
The 2-0 pitch to Rivera. He hits that ball foul into the stands. Look at the packed stands today. Oh, I love to see that. Families coming out, packing the ballpark for a beautiful Sunday afternoon. Someone
Yes,
gets
it
a free
is. Beautiful
souvenir.
day.
Oh my goodness.
Beautiful day, big matchup, a couple of top 25 teams.
A 2-1 pitch to Rivera high, a 3-1 count. Rivera grounded out back in the first, flew out in the third. He's such a threat in this lineup too, a veteran bat. I mean, no relief, up and down you go. He's the protection for Caglione, and then you got Riopel, who's the protection for him. And he swings through strike 2.
And that's the respect that he gets, a 3-1 slider. And he's just a shade out front of it. Saw probably Rivas' best fastball that went to the backstop at 91. And now, what's Rivas going to throw? Slider, fastball, either one of them are in play.
Pops that ball up. Shading is Harris, who's running over by the netting and makes the catch. The sun coming in there trying to play a factor, but good catch by Harris. 2 down.
Really nice job. He came back, took his time, threw his mask off, and he had found his way right under the baseball, and I'm sure he was looking right back into that sun. Well done.
She's a sneaky little one this afternoon.
It's been in play already. We've seen a couple guys fighting it up the middle of the field, and Harris did a really nice job of finding that one, taking his time, relaxing, and then securing the catch.
That'll bring up BT Riopel, takes ball 1 high. He's got 2 strikeouts this afternoon. The senior catcher who brings that veteran presence to the team, playing first base this afternoon with Luke Heyman behind the plate. Any difference, Greg, in the sliders you're seeing from Rivas?
Well, it's just he has different ones. So the ones to the lefties, he's really focused on landing that down and away.
Riopel on the ground. Calarco throws over to Rivas, who steps on the bag. The PFPs pay off. So Xavier Rivas with a 1-2-3 inning. Left-handed pitcher Chris Arroyo will come in relief on the mound, the freshman out of Puerto Rico, Greg, and he's going to come in relief of Blake Purnell.
Yeah, promising young arm with great stuff. Fastball sits around 89, 90. Curveball a little bit more of a slurve or a rounded action. And he'll also feature a slider and a changeup, and you see his numbers on the year. Only an inning and a third, 2 hits, a couple of punch outs, and a 6.7 ERA.
All right, so we got a little action in Florida's bullpen too. Jack Caglione goes 3 2/3, excuse me, on the day. And so we saw Blake Purnell come in, now Chris Arroyo, and a little action out there. And that's something I think we saw in yesterday's doubleheader. Ole Miss using a number of their relievers. And that was the question mark, Greg, for Kevin O'Sullivan this season, was the bullpen. Who are the guys who can step up? And yesterday, I mean, they had a lot of good guys step up for them and come in and close out the game. Brandon Neely, one of those guys. And so now you're going to see some of the other arms that Florida has to try to come in and contain the game.
Yeah, and you had Abner get the win yesterday in game 1 with a couple innings pitched. Fisher came in for an inning and 2/3 yesterday, so I think it might be just a mix and match and see who's throwing well and let them run for a couple innings and then bring somebody else in. But you saw what they've done since March 8th. They've been really solid.
Calvin Harris takes strike 1. Watches that ball on the outside part of the plate. Hits that ball. Coming back, trying to find it. Luke Heyman, but it's going to find the stands first.
I was going to say, we're going to have back-to-back pop-ups to the catcher. That's going to be pretty impressive. You don't see that very often. I was anxious to see how the freshman Luke Heyman was going to do on that one, looking up into the sun.
Maybe in practice with some fungos, right?
Nowadays, I mean, that's the hardest fungo to hit. Nowadays, they just turn on the pitching machine and fire it straight up in the air. Let guys get some work and punch out on a slider down and away. Long look from Harris down to third base umpire Eddie Newsom. We've seen a bunch of these wipeout sliders down and away. Harris gets the bat started. I don't know if he went. Looks like he held up. That's a pretty good hold. But I'm not the one that's making the call. Eddie Newsom at third base makes the call and rings him up.
One down, Peyton Chatinier will step up. Swings through strike one. What are you seeing from Arroyo? He's been able to, in this very small sample size, be effective.
Yeah, I mean, on Harris, it was fastballs up and in, and then that breaking ball down and away. So he's got a nice slider to go off that fastball. And against Chatinier right here, he starts him off with an 84-mile-an-hour changeup perfectly located. So nice mix, doing some things differently, uses a curveball changeup against the righties and fastball slider against the lefties.
Nick Ficarota was up in the bullpen warming, also part of the doubleheader yesterday, part of the success in the back end for the Gators as another big swing through strike two.
Another good changeup. But yeah, Ficarota got 2 innings yesterday, so I was curious to see how this bullpen would bounce back.
Chatinier hits that ball on the ground. Colby Halter across the diamond for the out.
Another changeup. This one's a little bit further outside. Chatinier tries to hook it, and Halter makes that play look easy.
Yeah, really strong throw. He's had a pair of those this afternoon. 2 down brings up Anthony Calarco on the left side of the plate. Calarco, the transfer again from Northwestern in Chicago. He's a mature hitter for this ball club. He can hit for a high average. He's got a little bit of power too. You see the pair of home runs as he takes strike one on the outside part of the plate. He's also got solid defense for this team. Heyman's done a nice job behind the plate this afternoon. His third pitcher he's working with now in 4 2/3 innings already. Last year, Greg,
Go ahead.
yeah, last year when I talked to him, before the draft, he goes to school. He's a guy who's been working really hard behind the plate, working on his mobility. As another strike there to Calarco makes it 2-2, and just his movement behind the plate, how he moves with his body. He's a tall guy, he's a big guy, and so that's something he put a lot of emphasis on last year. And Calarco swings through strike three, so another 1-2-3 inning. This time the Gators, they lead 3-2. We go to the 6th. Welcome back. The Gators lead 3-2, and when you spend as much time as this man does in the sun, sometimes the sun beats you. Sun 1, that young man 0. He's got the nice farmer's tan, and he must know that we're watching him now. He covers it up a little bit, but shirts off this afternoon at Swayze. Sunday afternoon, is that what it is? Sunday no shirts?
I guess it's Sunday no shirt day. Yeah, we got a couple guys that do need that tan, but that dude finally rolled up his sleeve after burning the arms pretty good.
No shirt Sundays at Swayze. Maybe they'll make that some kind of promotional deal. I don't know. Maybe they should make the shirt that has the farmer's tan on it so everyone just has a farmer's tan.
Well, I think they make it no shirt Sunday, and then they give out sunscreen to some of the guys, so you get a little bit of an even tan.
Xavier Rivas nibbling on the mound. Luke Heyman at the plate. He looks at ball 1 on that outside part, evens the count up. He started in 8 games this season, this being his 9th. As he rips that ball in the air to center, Ethan Groff battles the sun. 1 down. These are our featured softball games for next Saturday right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. Number 10, Florida squares off against South Carolina at noon Eastern, 11 Central. And number 13, Alabama takes on Missouri at 6 Eastern, 5 Central. Got to get that Central Time in there, Greg.
Please get the Central Time in there.
We got your back, don't you worry. Colby Halter squares around, but the bunt drops foul.
Yeah, Danny and I have been working together a little bit, and she's on Eastern Time, I'm on Central Time, and I got to make sure that the producers are all giving me okay, I need Central Time. Yeah, I know it's only a 1 hour difference, but every time they're talking, it's always Eastern Time. I'm going, okay, what are we at on Central? What time are we starting this game?
Listen, I know. I grew up in Central Time. I grew up in Missouri, so I get it. But now I live on Eastern Time, and I feel like I don't know how to go back. But we got your back. Listen, you haven't missed a thing.
I haven't missed a thing yet, as far as you know.
The 0-1 pitch to Halter. That one in high for ball one. It's 0 for 2 this afternoon. Has had a nice series against Ole Miss. It's hitting 283 this season, 300 this weekend. Halter gets a hold of that one. Again, back to Groff, right under it. Makes the catch. He and the son have figured it out now. They've become friends. 2 down.
Well, that's the second time, and you've seen the veteran Groff out in center field. Now watch him. This ball's right at him. He recognizes where it's at. His depth is perfect, and now he's going to sit there and he's going to take the ball off his left. And he did that the first time. He's not squaring it up. He's making sure that the ball is not getting in the sun, so he's taking it off to the left a little bit and making the catch, and that's the second one in a row that he's showing his veteran presence out in center field by just making sure that, all right, I'm not letting the sun get in my eyes. I'm going to just catch it off to the left side and do it a little bit less routinely than normal.
Ty Evans at the plate. Takes ball 2.
Probably argue he's the biggest difference in this game. Danny, what do you think?
Oh my gosh, yeah, laying out, saving a couple runs, no doubt about it. I mean, it's been a 1-run game the entire game. Florida led 1-0. Now they lead 3-2 in the top of the 6th. Yeah, he could be the difference maker in this one. And he hits that ball on the ground. It pops off of Leger's glove. So he's going to be safe over at first, a 2-out single. We're going to see how they rule that one.
This is a 2-0 fastball, and it's just hammered. Leger's trying everything he can to get himself in a position for a backhand, and it looks like he just overcompensated, came up too much, and ends up getting that backhand into his body. Knocks it down, but that was not the intention of him breaking that way. He just got a little bit too far into it.
So now Michael Robertson will come up with 2 down. Little check on Evans over at first. Evans yet to steal a bag this season. Good runner, though. Robertson takes that ball high. Pitch count, by the way, getting up there, Greg, 96 for Xavier Rivas.
Yeah, he had 84 pitches last week, so I got to believe he is coming down to his last inning right here. Probably run into about 100.
Robertson in the air, but that ball is trailing foul and out of play. Yeah, he's kind of turned it around after Jack Caglione came out of the game. He had a clean 5th inning, almost just had a clean 6th inning. There's Jack. He's like, I'm not making plays. I'm only batting now. I'm not in the field anymore, guys. Can't make that catch.
Yeah, he's
can't do it
turning
all.
Around, making sure that nobody got hit by the foul ball. No, he's done a nice job. He really has. Other than the Caglione home run and the Heyman home run, he's settled in and done a nice job of keeping this Ole Miss team right where they need to be.
It's a 1-1 count to Robertson. That ball catches the outside part of the plate for strike 2.
Let's see if he goes for the punch out with the slider down and away. A little bit more of a downward angle. Tries to start it around the knees. See if he can get Robertson to go chasing after it to get out of this inning.
And Robertson wastes one into the stands. Those fans deserve a couple free souvenirs, I think. Good catch. Good grab. Watch out for that slushie. Yeah. Man, that slushy looks good.
Yeah, protected the slushy.
Protect the slushy at all costs.
That's it. Protect the slushy. Get on the. Make sure that the slushy is further away. You're on the inside.
Robertson protecting the plate. Rivas ahead 1-2. Top 6. Ole Miss still trails by 1. The 100th pitch for Rivas. In there on the ground. It's going to get through. Robertson with a 2-out base hit. Heading for third is Evans. What a good piece of hitting, being down in the count, Greg, and doesn't try to do too much, extends the inning.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out why they didn't go back to the slider. The last fastball beat Robertson. He was able to spoil what would have been a strikeout. This fastball inner half pulls it through the 43 hole for a single. Now we have first and third and a lot of traffic going on, and that's going to be the end of the day for Rivas.
That's head coach Mike Bianco heading out to the mound. Top of the 6th, 2 runners on, 2 down. And these are the numbers, 5 2/3. Greg, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 4 punch-outs.
Did a great job, he really did. He scattered the hits, moved things around, got some strikeouts when he needed them, got out of some jams. And you just go, all right, you know what, that play gets made at third base, he's out of this inning.
He's getting a standing ovation from the crowd. We'll introduce you to the new arm on the mound when we come back. The senior Mitch Morrell will come in with 2 down in the top of the 6th. Runners on the corners for him, Greg, and he's going to have to face the top of the lineup in Cade Kurland.
Yeah, he did a nice job yesterday. 2 1/3 innings pitched, 3 strikeouts, 1 walk. He'll come in and feature a fastball 91 to 95. He'll touch 97 on occasion. Slider is his best pitch, and it'll be in the low to mid 80s. And then he'll also throw a changeup that's pretty solid as well.
Yeah, check out the strike to walk ratio. That caught my eye, 24 to 5.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's the kind of guy you want to come into a game right here in this situation. And like I said, he did it yesterday in game 2. Stabilized the game. Didn't give up any runs.
We mentioned it a little bit, some of the changes for Ole Miss coming off their championship run. Guys who are out. Hunter Elliott, who hasn't pitched this season, has been out. The sophomore lefty, a lot of excitement around him. Josh Mallitz as well. So those are some tough losses going into this season, coming off the run that they had. So Mitch Morrell will come in. Cade Kurland takes ball 1. Mitch Morrell with 2 outs. Guys hitting 185 against him. Kurland swings and misses. Yeah.
A deep slider, so he's able to roll his fingers to the front and create more of a 12 to 6 or a 1 to 7 spin on that slider. Short, tight break.
That ball landing in, but not close enough. A 2-1 count to Kurland. Kurland opposed to Morrell, hitting .519 with 2 outs, .414 with runners in scoring position.
Really good numbers.
And he hits that ball. That one's going to get past the infield. 1 run will come home to score for the Gators. They lead 4-2. Cade Kurland did it in game 1 yesterday, and he does it again today.
Lays off a good slider. The pitch before that gets a fastball down and in. Laces it into left center. Second RBI on the day, second hit. He's 2 for 4 on the day.
It's just a freshman, too. Again, he comes to campus early. He wanted to be there. He wanted to be a part of this team. He's been a mainstay, and to be the leadoff guy and to fill those shoes, he's done an amazing job. So Florida up,
really
4-2. That brings up Wyatt Langford. Langford takes ball 1 outside. Go ahead, Greg.
No, I was just going to say he's done a great job, and Langford comes up, and we have another first and third situation. Curlin's only got one stolen bag on the year and one attempt. Let's see if they try to get him moving, get Langford having the defense and rotating around on the steal.
Good breaking ball from Morrell for a strike. Harris with the block, ball 2. A little more on Curland because it's a bit of a parallel, and the last number 4, Judd Fabian, who was drafted, also getting to campus early. So a little bit of parallels there for the Gators.
Yeah, it really is. I like that. I like the confidence.
Langford reaches. Leger gets the easy out, goes to second, but Cade Curlin, the freshman, coming up strong again. Florida leads by 2. Welcome back. Florida extends their lead 4-2 over Ole Miss. Cade Curland with another RBI. He's had a really great series so far, and Ole Miss put up 2 in the 4th. Greg, they're able to come within 1, but again, it's just Florida. They just figure out ways to get guys on, push them over, and stop the other team from getting anybody to come home.
Yeah, no, they did a nice job that inning. I mean, there's 2 outs, nobody on base. Hard hit ball by Heyman. Gets into the glove and gets out. Guy gets on base hit, first and third, another base hit, so they string together 3 base hits with 2 outs to extend the lead to 4-2.
Ethan Leger steps up, will be the leadoff man on the bottom of the 6th, walked his last at bat. And he takes a strike on the outside part of the plate.
Hey, Bob, right here.
That was an Arroyo changeup that just went to the backstop, and you could see just elbow dropped the shade. He got under it, and it ends up staying high and wide, but it was a really effective pitch for him last inning.
Yeah, just a freshman out on the mound, comes in, gets some SEC action, big weekend, big game.
Well, you love the fact that it doesn't rattle him. He just threw a changeup to the backstop, and he comes back with a 90-mile-an-hour fastball, good location down. Let's see if he tries to come back to that changeup. Just every pitch on the mound is an adjustment, so you're adjusting to what's going on. If everything's in a great rhythm.
Gets Leger swinging for a strikeout, 1 down. Florida's Pro Day is Thursday morning right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. Anthony Richardson and Osiris Torrance highlight the Gators, looking to showcase their skills for the NFL scouts and front office personnel. Our 2.5-hour coverage begins 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central. TJ McCants steps back up to the plate. He grounded into a double play his last at bat and struck out in his first. I like this guy a lot. He's so athletic, Greg. You can see how tall he is. He swings through that strike, but takes up some room in the box. His athleticism in the outfield, like this guy can kind of do it all. His freshman season at Ole Miss, it was so good as he swings through another strike, and I think that they're hoping to see a few more glimmers of that this season.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Freshman All-American in 21. Last year, the average dipped down to about 234, but he still had the home runs and the RBI. And this year you can see that the batting average is going up. He's making better contact. The home runs are on pace for almost doubling last season.
The pitch to McCants. He gets a hold of that one down the line. And just foul into the stands. Rips that one off the bat. So Arroyo ahead 1-2 again. The freshman who has been really good making these pitches to some pretty veteran hitters.
Yeah, just left that slider inner half. McCants just a shade out front of it and hooked it foul.
That one gets away, evens the count 2-2.
You can see a little bit of the freshman in Arroyo where you make a bad pitch and then you try to do a little bit more on the next one, so that fastball gets pulled, body opens up a little bit early. Totally normal.
And that's the veteran, mature approach there from McCants. Comes back, now the count's full. Oh, and he gets him swinging. Big strikeout for Chris Arroyo.
Fourth punch out in an inning and 2/3. This fastball's probably off the plate a little bit, but the lefty-lefty matchup gets McCants chasing after it. Couple of punch outs with the fastball, slider, getting it done with a couple different pitches today.
Reagan Burford will come up with 2 outs. Takes that pitch for a strike. That's just tough to hit. You come up and maybe you're sitting fastball, and then you gotta face that and try to figure out what to do with that pitch.
Yeah, you haven't seen it very often. He'll show it to righties a lot more than he does the lefties. He uses the slider against the lefties, but as a righty, you're up there, you're going, okay, if I get a fastball middle of the plate, I'm going to try to do some damage, try to get something in the gap, get a rally started for us, and then Arroyo just flips a nice 76-mile-an-hour curveball in there and goes, all right, here's strike 1.
Yeah, it looks like maybe a little confusion. Luke Heyman looking over for the pitches from the dugout. No pitch comm for Chris Arroyo on his wrist. It's a 1-1 count to Burford. Fouls that pitch off. So now he's ahead 1-2. So there's the intercom right there from Coach to Heyman.
In case there's any lip readers in the stands that might be looking in, he's got the paper covering the microphone that's covering his mouth.
Another good block by Heyman there. So Heyman's putting down the fingers, but he's getting the call from Coach from the walkie-talkie.
Yeah, so the SEC started with earpieces in the catcher's ears a couple years ago. Calls coming in from the dugout.
Colby Halter again across the diamond. Gets the out. So another 1-2-3 inning for the Gators. They lead by 2. We go to the 7th.
With your feet on the air and your head on the ground. Try this trick and spin it. Yeah.
Next up.
Thank you.
Enjoy.
Where's my mind? Where's my mind?
What's he doing?
He's cleaning the trash cans.
Oh boy. Meeting a new young homeowner for the first time is a unique challenge.
So you think you can help?
I can try. Hey, what you doing?
Just cleaning my trash cans.
Wow. It's important to build trust. So you put your address and phone number on here.
Well, you can never be too safe.
With trash?
Progressive can't protect you from becoming your parents, but we can protect your home and auto when you bundle with us.
Don't look at the hedges, they're a
No
mess.
one's looking at the hedges.
Welcome back to Swayze, a top 25 ranked matchup this afternoon. Florida going for the sweep. They lead Ole Miss 4-2, but Ole Miss trying to salvage the weekend. They've had a bit of trouble in SEC play so far, hoping to try to come back in this one. Game 1 of the doubleheader yesterday, they were leading, and then they weren't able to hold that lead. Game 2, they were trying to come back the whole game. This one, it's kind of the same. It's kind of the same theme here, and it doesn't get easier because, as we saw, Jack Caglione started this game. Now he stays in as DH. He went yard back in the first as he swings through a strike from Mitch Morrell. I mean, this again, just look at him physically. He's just a sophomore in the box. Like, the swing is big.
Oh, it's a great swing. You just saw a nice right-handed slider down and in, but all Caglione has done this weekend, 7 for 11, 5 RBIs, 4 home runs.
And he takes that pitch outside. It's a 3-1 count. Yeah, now that home run total up to 17. All he does is lead the nation in home runs. He's the only
and
player in the country.
98-99.
Exactly. Oh, another big swing from him, and that brings the count to full. Only guy in the country with double-digit homers and 30-plus strikeouts. A full count to Caglione. He waits on that one and spoils it. I'd say whoever catches that ball, you better keep it, Keep it, get it signed,
Yeah.
put it in a glass case.
Yeah, that ball looked like it went caroming into the dugout, so I don't think anybody's going to ask him for his autograph in his dugout right now.
Oh,
maybe at the end of the season or when he gets drafted.
I don't know. You never know.
You never know. Yeah, I didn't have very many teammates ask me for sign anything, so.
Caglione waits on that one. A bullet, but talk about the shift being on. Peyton Chatinier so deep in the second base hole makes the catch.
Got the shift, and I think there was one fastball thrown that at bat. So a bunch of sliders and change-ups, and this slider gets left elevated out over. And the shift takes care of the out.
Perfect spot. Shift still in effect in the college game. That brings up Josh Rivera. Holds his swing for ball one. He's got an on-base streak a little bit in jeopardy. I don't know how much he cares, Greg. It's going all the way back to last season at this point, but right now still looking for a base knock in this game.
Well, I would probably bet you that he'll take the win over his on-base streak.
No doubt.
Yeah, not that he has
can
a
see
chance
here.
or a choice, but
27
running out of
games.
at-bats.
Yeah, goes back to last season. .424 batting average led his team coming into this weekend. 37 runs also leading his team. Oh, good changeup pitch there from Morel.
Yeah, really well located. He was 4 for 8 yesterday. Home run, a double, couple stolen bases, couple RBIs, 4 runs scored.
Oh, he comes back, gets the strikeout. Big swing from Rivera, 2 down.
Well, Morel has a nasty slider. This one has some depth, almost 12-6, and I talked about it earlier. He's able to roll to the front. Normally you see a slider, and it's got a little bit more of a horizontal and vertical tilt. This slider has a lot of just straight vertical tilt. And that one he amplified velocity a little bit, got it up to 83 miles an hour, perfect location down at the bottom of the zone.
BT Rypel takes ball one. Greg, you know, none of these guys, you mentioned this earlier, they're not stepping out of the box. You know, we got a 20-second pitch clock. You got to be alert and ready by 10 as he swings through strike one. But you don't really see these guys stepping out. I mean, right here, that he's stepping out, so he's just, you know, completely changing my point here. But you know what I mean. Like, they're not
exactly
really
what you
stepping
mean.
out. Yeah.
No, it's one of those things that the hitters, if nothing's changed, they take a strike, they take a ball, they stay engaged in the box. If they swing and miss, like Ryopel did right there, disengages the box, kind of resets his grip, does whatever he wants to do, and then gets back in quickly.
Ryopel waits, smashes that foul. Oh, there we go. Oh, I can't see who's on the back of his jersey, but oh, it's Chatinier, Peyton Chatinier. Oh my God, that's awesome.
I'm glad they got out of the way of that line drive. That ball's a missile.
Yeah, it was. And there's a swing through strike three. 1-2-3 inning for Mitch Morel. Ole Miss, they trail by 2. We go to the bottom of the 7th. The freshman's day is done. Chris Arroyo goes 2 innings, strikes out 4. Greg faces 6 batters. Nice job by him.
Did a really nice job. Got most of his punch outs on that slider that you just saw. 1 curveball or 2, and then a fastball down and away gets McCants. But 6 up, 6 down for the freshman. 4 punch outs and a couple of fairly routine ground balls to third base. Well done.
Yeah, helping hold the 2-run lead the Gators have, and the new arm on the mound for Florida, Philip Abner, another freshman coming in, hasn't given up an earned run since March 1st, gave up a run yesterday against Ole Miss, but that was unearned. Pretty impressive, for the sophomore.
Yeah, you got the W yesterday in game 1, 2 1/3, 1 hit, 3 strikeouts, 1 walk, but you're going to see a fastball in the low to mid 90s, 4-pitch arsenal. His fastball is going to have a little bit of cut to it. It's got a changeup that's pretty solid, and then he'll feature a curveball and a slider as well.
Yeah, another guy coming in. So the sophomore, 22 strikeouts, just 8 walks, and this is a guy who's been nails for this team. You got Brandon Neely still, he's the closer of this team, Cade Fisher, Philip Abner, Nick Ficarota, a bunch of guys that we've mentioned, some of the guys who have been around this weekend who have been lights out, and maybe answering a couple questions for Kevin O'Sullivan as they head further into SEC play.
Yeah, they're able to solidify a nice solid bullpen, and everybody's got their spots and their routines that they can get into and understand when the game starts moving in this direction. Hey, you know what, I'm probably going to be in here 6th, 7th, 8th inning. And you can, and that allows you as a reliever to start looking down the lineup and just picturing how you want to face these guys. And it's a luxury that not very many people have.
He comes in firing to Ethan Groff for strike 1. And that pitch missing low to even the count. Groff waits on that, rips it foul.
Gets a lot of, talking about Abner, gets a lot of front shoulder head movement at the end, so everything's pretty calm, leg up, leg down, starts moving forward, and then you see a really good front glove pull, and the head swings a little bit, but it's a very violent move right at the end.
Abner, yeah, wow, goes the opposite way. Good play by BT Riopel for the first out.
Riopel, shift, diving, probably saves a double. Shifted over into the 43 hole. Nice piece of hitting by Groff, and it's just robbed. That's the second probably double that Florida has robbed today, and the difference in the game.
Yeah, way to lay out. We know Riopel also behind the plate for the Gators, playing first base this afternoon. Jacob Gonzalez at the plate and takes ball 1. Gonzalez with a pair of RBIs back in the 4th. He had a 2-out double to get Ole Miss on the scoreboard.
Yeah, that double is a great piece of hitting on a 2-0 fastball from Caglione. Stays inside of it, drives it over the left fielder's head for a huge double. Florida had scored 2 in the top of that inning, the top of the 4th. And Gonzalez takes it on himself. Bring the gap back down to 1. U.S. national team member, All-American. This guy is a dude.
Yeah, the first time since 2008 to be named a second time to the Golden Spikes watch list. Bottom 7, 1 down. It's a 2-2 count. He spoils that one. You know, just a sophomore, Greg, but I look at Abner and I don't feel like he looks like a sophomore.
I'm sorry, partner, say that again. I was looking at his foot in the batter's box, but yeah, Abner's stuff is great.
There's another foul ball. Yeah, I just said, you know, he doesn't look like a sophomore.
No, very physically commanding presence on the mound.
Gonzalez taps that ball on the ground. Rivera makes the play. Riopel goes down and gets it 2 down for the Gators. You noticed something about Gonzalez's foot, though, in the box?
Yeah, I was taking a look at it. You know, you got the lefty matchup, so he's trying to make sure that he's able to cover home plate, and it almost looked like his left foot, the back foot, was closer to home plate. You can see that white line. It looks like he's almost borderline out of the batter's box.
Nice job by our camera crew there.
No kidding.
As Kemp
That's just one of
Alderman
those things.
takes the strike. Go
Sorry,
ahead, Greg.
partner. That's just one of those things I always notice as a pitcher. You're standing on the mound, and you would have guys that would move in the batter's box, and I'm talking about Andrew Jones, Dave Winfield. They would move around in the batter's box depending on the count and what they thought I was going to throw. And so I'm always watching where people are at in the batter's box, and I hope that if there's any catchers listening to us right now, they would do the same thing. Check out where guys are, because they will move their feet based on what they think is coming and what they're trying to do.
I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was funny. I'd just stand there and I'd see some guys moving around. I was like, I see you, right? I was like, now I'm just going to throw whatever you think that you wanted by moving away from home, the inside corner. I'll just throw you away now.
Alderman takes a 1-2 pitch back to Rivera, who makes the easy play. So Abner comes in and gets a 1-2-3 inning. Gators lead in Oxford. Welcome back. Top of the 8th inning. Florida keeping their 2-run lead over Ole Miss, and Florida's bullpens put up zeros in the 5th, 6th, and 7th inning. They were able to score a run in the 6th to give a little bit of breathing room. Cade Curlin, the freshman, has done a great job this afternoon. You got a home run from Jack Caglione, Luke Heyman as well. Heyman now gets the lead off for his team, but it's a close game. Ole Miss, their bats, their offense, man, they're not sleeping at all. It's just Florida is just a little bit better right now.
Yeah, they've just found ways, and when I've talked about it, the difference in the game is maybe a couple defensive plays by Ryapel or Ty Evans, and then adding a home run here, home run there. But Mitch Morell's job right now is to throw up another zero, get his offense back up there. They're running out of outs.
Heyman waits on the breaking ball, left field, in the air. Home run, Luke Heyman. 2 home runs this afternoon, the freshman, making sure everybody knows his name.
Comes into the game hitting .424, 1 home run. He's going to leave this game. Batting average is going to be about the same. Mitch Morell has thrown some great sliders. This one he leaves elevated. Heyman's been paying attention. He's probably going to get a slider this at bat, gets a hanger. And nobody in the stands wants to go chasing a Florida home run. Yep, it was elevated.
Yeah, he knew it, Greg. He knew it, turned around, frustrated at that. So now Florida with a 5-2 lead. Heyman's batting average going a little bit up to .444. Brings up Colby Halter. He looks at ball 2. Good block by Calvin Harris behind the plate.
Heyman might find himself getting a little bit more playing time. He's going to keep doing that.
Kind of a good problem to have, right, Greg? If you've got Jack Caglione, who can play first, and DH, BT Ryapel, who can catch and play first, and then you've got Luke Heyman, who seems to be showing the power that I think Florida was hoping to see from him. Maybe they didn't know they'd see it this soon, but he's had the opportunities and made the most of them.
I mean, for me, the most impressive thing is that both of his home runs have been breaking balls. And one of them was actually pretty good. That last one by Morell was hanging.
Halter draws the walk. Yeah, nice job by him. Yeah, for a freshman, Greg, right, to be able to wait. I mean, college pitching at next level, obviously, but to have the patience to wait and then do damage, it's not just being able to do one part right, but then you're able to execute the pitch.
Absolutely. You nailed it right there, because it's one thing to walk up there and go, you know what, I'm going to look for this pitch. It's another thing to get it and do something with it.
That's going to be it for Mitch Morell. Mike Bianco coming out to the mound. Morell goes 1 1/3, gives up 2 hits, an earned run, a walk, and strikes out 2. So the seniors' day will be done, and we'll go back to the bullpen. When we come back, Luke Heyman makes it a 5-2 Gator lead. Welcome back. The sophomore Mason Nichols takes the mound for the Rebels. He comes in with a runner on in the top of the 8th. He pitched in Saturday's doubleheader game 1. He took the loss And the Rebels used 5 pitchers in that first game, Greg. We see here, I mean, they're just going down the list. We're already on 1, 2, 3, the third guy for the Rebels.
We got the third guy, but yeah, they're mixing and matching right now. You can see the numbers on the year, pretty solid. 1-1, 2.53 ERA. Yesterday's game, he went 2/3 of an inning, gave up 4 hits, 4 earned runs, and a walk. He's going to feature a fastball 90 to 92, and it has a little bit of rise to it, so it's going to give the appearance that it's rising. It's actually just not sinking as much as normal, so he's got a good spin rate, and then he's got a hard-to-pick-up slider between 78 and 84.
He's going to face Ty Evans, who will be at the plate with a runner on first, no outs. His last at bat got on E5 and was able to come home and score. So he's flashed a little bit of lumber. We saw the leather in the outfield too.
Comes in with nobody out. See if maybe he...
Oh, and he hits the first pitch he sees down the left field line. And that's going to be foul. That ball looked so sad out there all by itself.
It looked like somebody came out of the bullpen to stop the ball girl down the left field line from running all the way down there, but it was a hit and run. Halter was moving on the pitch. Just blistered foul.
The 0-1 low evens the count. And he hits that ball in the air, trailing on the right side of the field. Coming over, almost a collision. Chatinier will make the catch. That was a close play there with first baseman Anthony Calarco.
Well, Calarco gets himself, he's completely out of position to catch this ball. And great job by Chatinier to get over there. There's no communication whatsoever. Chatinier doesn't know if he can get there, so he doesn't call him off. Unbelievable play, great effort. And that's a little eye shrug where he's just kind of like, yeah, you know what, I made that one look easy, didn't I?
Yeah, I mean, the athleticism Chatinier has, I mean, we know it, but you really just got to see it as he ran over there, avoids Calarco, and then makes the catch. And has to turn around, don't forget, because you got a runner over on first base.
Yeah, he didn't take any time to check on Calarco. He was just like, I got to run this ball in real quick. If anything's wrong, I'll come over and get you.
Yeah. Good play by him, 1 down. Michael Robertson steps up. Ooh, ball high, ball 2.
Well, Nichols is working on, he's got to be quick to the plate. Halter has stolen some bags. He's 3 for 5 on the year. They've already tried 1 hit and run. Robertson's really good with the bat. He's able to do something a little bit more than normal freshman, bunting-wise, and he's able to handle the bat better than normal freshmen. So Nichols is really concerned, and his focus is in a 50-50 spot right now. And you're seeing that control-wise. He's not commanding the home plate. He's more focused on Halter at first base and being quick.
You got 2 kind of chippy guys at the bottom of the order for the Gators, because Robertson's got some speed too. He's got 5 stolen bases this season. So you got guys who can make something happen and then put a little pressure on the Ole Miss defense.
Yeah, and then the bigger concern, honestly, for me is that you got the top of the lineup coming up.
Robertson slices that ball right into a hopping Kemp Alderman, who throws back to first base. 2 down for the Rebels, and it looks like Calarco thought he tagged him. He said, "Get that headset, guys."
Oh, yeah, they got the long throw from left field. Great job by Alderman. Bang, bang. And he's safe, and Calarco gives kind of a half, do the headset thing. He definitely got that, but he does a definite, kind of like the little half headset thing. Calarco shouldn't do that. He's not right.
Oh. Yes, we do have our umps. Here they are.
After review, the call of safe is confirmed. Ole Miss loses their challenge.
A quick confirmation. And you heard it there, so Ole Miss will lose their challenge. 2 outs, though. Alderman makes a nice catch. Had to do a little hop out there in left. You can see challenges remaining. Yeah, what a bullet. I mean, again, we've been talking about his bat. That's our first chance to really see the arm in action.
Yeah, plus arm out in left field. Actually, on the scouting report, it's a plus arm. So I got the 2 pluses next to the arm out in left field. And you saw it right there. He threw just a dart across the diamond. 1 hop. Almost got the running halter on the way back.
Cade Curlin took a big breaking ball for strike 1. He hits that ball in the air, center field, going back. Ethan Groff, it's gone, home run. Cade Curlin, the freshman, he's doing it all today. A 2-run home run. The Gators, they're up by 5. Wow, deep center field off the bat.
Kevin O'Sullivan's got the runner going 3 times this inning. This slider is left elevated, just staying up. Curlin stays with it, drives it to center field. 4 RBIs on the day. His last 3 at bats, 3 hits. He is getting it done at the top of the lineup for the Gators.
Oh my goodness, the freshman again coming to campus early and paying it off. Honestly, you couldn't ask for more from a guy who's hungry to be a part of this squad. So now 2 down, Wyatt Langford steps up and takes that ball. So a 2-0 count.
I just feel like Kevin O'Sullivan was trying to play small ball. He had Halter running 3 times every at bat. He was running for somebody, more of a run and hit. But they had gotten by. Ole Miss had gotten away with it with a line drive to left field. That one ends up being a hit and run for a home run.
Opens the game up. The Gators lead by 5. Little action in the Rebels bullpen as Langford takes strike 1. And he's patient, works a 2-out walk.
Second walk of this inning, second home run of this inning. And Old Florida has found a way to distance themselves.
I believe it was South Carolina who led the nation in home runs coming into this weekend. I'd like to see those numbers after what Florida's done. Jack Caglione chops that ball on the ground. Chatinier goes 1, so that'll end the frame. Luke Heyman, Cade Curlin going yard and breaking this one open, Greg.
Yep, slider right there, bomb by the freshman catcher. Opens the game up a little bit, and then the freshman second baseman blows it open with a bomb to center.
Welcome back. If you like home runs, which I'm going to guess you do, then you're enjoying this one. The Gators 4 home runs in this one. Luke Heyman, the freshman, with 2. Cade Curlin, the freshman, with another. Jack Caglione, a home run back in the first, and the Gators broke it open in the top of the 8th. Greg, it's now 7-2 as we head to the bottom of this inning.
It's been a tight game. The difference has been those home runs, and Florida just finding a way to keep putting runs up on the board while their bullpen is going out here and being stellar.
Yeah, they have. Calvin Harris will step in and slice strike 1 into the stands. So Philip Abner coming in relief of this game, and the sophomore who's really developed himself. His numbers are kind of gaudy right now, but comes into this game, gets some SEC action. And Harris again with another ball trailing into the stands. So Abner ahead 0-2, Greg. But what stands out about what you've seen from him?
Well, I mean, the last slider wasn't that great. It was a little bit elevated, but great front arm action, great head. Everything's in place, and it's just a nice, smooth leg kick. leg up, leg down. He starts coming down, and then it becomes a very physical, violent move. And he has been really good with his fastball location like that. And you could see Heyman was set up about 5 inches off the dish. The call from the dugout is fastball down and away, get off the plate. And Heyman got out there, and Abner just dotted the eye. If you want to go chasing after that, you're out.
Harris gets a hold of that one, chops it back up the middle, so works the count down in the count and able to just put the bat on the ball for a base runner.
This is just hitting, great hitting. 1-2 slider, really nice location down and away. Harris has seen enough left-handers on the day. He's had enough. Dives out and covers that slider down and away. First base hit, and he's out there going, thank you. So tired of these left-handed guys.
Yeah, the junior getting the ball in play, brings up the senior, Peyton Chatinier, who hits that ball, but it's going to get over shortstop. Kobe Halter's throw will go over. So Chatinier is safe. Harris ends up on third base. And now you've got runners on the corners for Ole Miss.
That is exactly what you did not want to see if you're a Florida fan. Routine ground ball, doesn't quite get his feet set. So you saw his left foot was still a little open. Throws a bad throw over to second base. Curlin comes in, and so he is on the move. He's on a dead sprint to get to second base to get planted. And he's got really no shot to make the adjustment on a high throw glove side.
So Ole Miss cooking in the outfield. Some brats they're trying to cook here on the field. And this brings up Anthony Calarco. And, you know, we saw this in Game 1. Game 1, they're ahead. They try to rally back a little bit. Game 2, they try to rally back a little bit. They've got all this dogfight in them as that pitch is ripped foul. But it's tough when you've got to come from behind against this Florida team.
Yeah, we've talked about their bullpen being really good, but I got to believe Mike Bianco is out there and he's had this conversation. Look, we won the national championship last year, and we did it when we were 7-14 in the SEC. Yeah, we're 0-5 right now, but we're not dead yet. Let's get things going. Gonzalez is big star, got the big 2-run double to get him back in the game. You just feel like they needed a break like that air right there.
Abner ahead 1-2, gets Calarco swinging. Umpire's going to call time. Foul ball, got a piece of it. Yeah, and you just saw Mike Bianco in the dugout sandwiched between his players.
Well, he's probably looking for a good place to stand where he can get some runs. You know, he's moving around going, okay, we didn't get any runs here. I'm going to move a couple guys down, slide over a little bit, let me see.
Calarco takes a ball. Runners coming home, and Ole Miss, they'll put one across. Pass ball by Luke Heyman. So now 7-3 Gators.
Probably will go down as a pass ball. Fastball gets thrown wide. See, Heyman kind of came up on his toes a little bit and just took himself out of position, a shade. Ball was pulled wide, and you're not expecting that from the controlled guy like Abner.
So one run comes home to score. Chatinier advances to second base, and it's a 2-2 count. Calarco goes right back over the infield. Chatinier is going to hold up at third, and the inning continues on. Runners at first and third, and Calarco, hey, just putting the ball in play and seeing what happens.
Yeah, it's been a quiet day for him. Walked in the second. He's going to bring out Kevin O'Sullivan. Nice piece of hitting again, diving out and covering the Abner slider, lacing it back up to center field.
And it looks like we're going to have a pitching change on the mound. So Philip Abner's day will be over. Kevin O'Sullivan's not going to take any chances, right? They're up by 5, but he knows how potent the Ole Miss offense can be. So he's going to head back to the dugout, gets an inning plus. Runners on first and third, and we've got Ethan Leger coming up. We'll tell you who he's facing when we come back. Welcome back. Ole Miss gets another on the board. They trail by 4 in the bottom of the 8th. Brandon Neely, the sophomore right-handed pitcher, will take over on the mound for the Gators, and on Saturday put up some zeros and able to help Florida contain the game and give them the win.
Yeah, and you can see a guy right here. He's got a 5-pitch mix coming in from the bullpen. Fastball is going to be 88 to 92. It'll top out at 94. And then he'll throw a plus slider. Changeup's really good. Just added a cutter this past year. So he's a 5-pitch mix coming out of the back end of the pen.
Yeah, game 1 yesterday. Ole Miss just 6 outs away with a 3-run lead. Cade Kurland, who's been so good in this game, the freshman, had a 3-run double. The Gators got the lead, and it was Phillip Abner and Brandon Neely who closed it out. And I've been saying this a couple times, Greg. I find it interesting that Kevin O'Sullivan had questions about the bullpen. And here we are this weekend coming in. They've done a really nice job in their second weekend of SEC play. And you can see here that Florida trying to get their first road sweep of Ole Miss since 2003. And Ole Miss in danger of being swept for the first time at home since 2022. And I'll throw one more in you. Kevin O'Sullivan's first year, rally caps are out, 2008. That was the last time that Florida was able to sweep on the road, or win the series, excuse me, and they've done that now. So they're trying to take it one step further.
And Ole Miss is trying to avoid being 0-6, which is a deficit in the SEC that's going to be very hard to overcome.
Leger takes a ball from Neely. He puts that ball on the ground to Rivero, steps on second, fires to first, 2 down, but one more run comes home to score. So the Rebels get a 4th run. Now they trail by 3.
Good location, missed with a slider, comes back with a fastball right on the hands. And Rivera just takes it himself. They will concede that run, not worried about it, and take the 2 outs for the 1 run.
TJ McCants swings through strike 1.
McCants has been quiet on the day, 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts. And you're getting Neely's best fastball right there. Let's see if he tries to amplify the velocity a little bit more, take it up out of the zone.
The 0-2 pitch. That one outside. Neely, the closer for this team, so coming in a little earlier in the 8th to clean it up, get out of the inning.
Well, the college closer is a little bit different than the major league closer, where they've pretty much packed them into the 1 inning, maybe an inning and a third. College closers will come out there, and they're almost whenever is needed. They are on call and on deck.
And McCants hits that ball in the air, shallow left field. Coming in, Wyatt Langford will make the catch. So the Rebels able to scratch one across, but they trail by 3. We go to the 9th. Welcome back to Swayze. Number 3, Florida leading number 13, Ole Miss. Florida leads by 3 runs. The Rebels, they're able to push 2 across in the 8th. Greg just scratching and clawing their way, trying to avoid the sweep on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. And the Rebels going to bring a new arm out on the mound for the top of the 9th. This is freshman Braden Jones.
Yeah, Ole Miss has answered both of Florida's big spurts with a couple of runs to get back into this. Brandon Jones is going to feature a fastball in the low 90s. He'll touch 96, and then a very solid slider, 79 to 83. You can see his numbers on the season. Pretty solid for a freshman starting his SEC career.
Yeah, he's going to have a tough task leading off Josh Rivera for the Gators. And Rivera looks at strike 1. Pretty impressive to have an on-base streak, Greg, that spans back to last season.
Well, that's the type of player he is. 27-game hit streak in play right now. What a big day yesterday. Was assuming that it was going to continue, but today 0 for 4 with a strikeout.
He watches that ball high. Yeah, I think it's a testament to, once Xavier Rivas settled a little bit in, I think that we really got to see his pitches shine. And then Mitch Morrell, Mason Nichols, and now Braden Jones. They've been giving him some different looks. And Rivera chops the ball up the middle. Chatinier will make the out. Here's this week's featured college baseball game right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. Number 21, Texas A&M hosts old rival Texas in a non-conference matchup at Bluebell Park. Coverage begins Tuesday night, 7 Eastern, 6 Central. That's going to be a good one. Love a non-conference rival that will eventually go back to being a conference rival when Texas and Oklahoma join the SEC.
Coming to a TV near you. Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun when Texas and Oklahoma move into the SEC. Trying to figure out how they're going to do the conference splits, if they do them at all.
Oh, yeah. BT Rypel steps in, takes ball 2. Yeah, that will be really fascinating to see how things shift and change and who gets paired up against who, how the rivalries maybe shift. I mean, this conference so storied in their rivalries. They run so deep.
And it's what makes it a lot of fun that you look at some rivalries that they're adding now with A&M and Texas, and then you got the Texas-Oklahoma rivalry that is now going to become an SEC, large piece. It's just going to be a lot of fun watching that baseball, football, basketball moving into the Southeastern Conference.
Ryapel fouls one off. It's a 3-1 count, and he watches ball 4, a 1-out walk. Luke Heyman stepping up. The freshman gets the start, makes the most of it. Goes yard back in the 4th inning. A long home run to left, and then decides to spread it out a little bit. Maybe goes left center there for his 2nd home run of the day. The freshman. Don't forget his name, Greg.
No, I will not. Luke Heyman has done a great job. Came in. Game was 1-0 in the 4th inning. He gets a slider inside half from Rivas and drills it down the left field line, and then coming back around in the 8th inning. Leads off the inning with a bomb. And the game was still in doubt at that point. Not that it isn't now.
Ole Miss is feisty. I think that the bottom of the 9th, they're going to bring a lot of pressure, even if it is right now a 3-run lead by the Gators. Heyman watches ball 3 low.
Well, Braden Jones, his one job right now is to get his team off the field without any more runs. A 3-run deficit is enough to overtake in the 9th inning.
Yeah, and not the way to do it, right? Issuing back-to-back walks, bringing up Colby Halter.
He is going to be testing Coach Bianco's patience. You can watch guys give up hits, but it's hard to watch guys struggle to find the zone, and that 4-pitch walk is not going to keep him in the game very long.
Jackson Kimbrell, Cole Ketchum warming up in the Rebs bullpen. So now you got runners on 1st and 2nd base. Colby Halter will step in. He's put the bat on the ball a couple of times. Couple flyouts, walked his last at bat. And he watches strike 1 on the outside part of the plate.
Yeah, he's had some nice hitting. Couple fly balls to left field, fly ball to center, walked. Now he's got to do his best to stay on top of this ball.
And he hits a little chopper foul
Jones has a nice little sink action to it, so he's looking to get a double play, and right now he's trying to get Halter with a two-seam fastball down and away. Trying to roll a pretty routine ground ball to that guy standing in the background, Jacob Gonzalez, who would take care of it easily.
Yeah, the infielders, regular depth. There's Gonzalez. The 0-2 pitch sails high for ball one. Halter's a guy known as a true competitor. He can light a fire under his teammates, and when he's hot, his teammates get hot. So despite not having a hit, as he rips that ball in the air, coming in under it, TJ McCants fighting the sun to make the out. Still able to get his teammates going. But 2 down now for the Rebels. Good catch by McCants to fight the sun. That sun, man, she's hanging around.
Yeah, moving all over the place. McCants has to go down on a knee to make sure that he gets that ball out of the sun long enough for him to secure the catch. Kind of surprised that we didn't have a BT Riopel tag up at second base, but chose not to. Probably went halfway with the one out.
Respecting the arm of McCants potentially too. Ty Evans swings through that pitch and hits it foul. Riopel 4 for 4 in stolen base attempts this season.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that catchers seem to get some stolen bases when you fall asleep. You know, you're not paying him a whole lot of attention. You're going, okay, the catcher's on first base. And, don't worry about it. Give him a little bit of a leg kick and sneaky quick, he'll take the bag. And he will not do it here. I would be shocked if he tried. He's already in scoring position.
2 on, 2 down, a 1-2 count to Ty Evans. And he hits that ball in the air. McCants on the run, makes the catch. So 2 runners stranded. Ole Miss, 3 outs. They're down by 3. We head to the bottom of the 9th. Welcome back to Oxford. Swayze packed this afternoon. Number 3, Florida leads number 13, Ole Miss, 7-4. Florida sweeping the doubleheader yesterday, Greg. They're trying to go for the sweep, something that they have not done in Oxford since 1988. And that just goes to show you how strong and dominant of a program and how hard it is to win on the road.
Yeah, no, that says it all right there. 1988, I was still playing. So, long time. I might have been paying attention and reading the newspaper going, wow, Florida swept Ole Miss.
I won't tell you what I was doing in 1988. Yeah. Pinch hitter Will Furness will step up, the freshman. He was the DH in yesterday's doubleheader. He'll get a chance to come in and get in at bat. Bottom of the 9th, we got 9-1-2 coming up for the Rebels. And he watches strike 1 from Neely.
Name is familiar. His dad was the SEC hits leader at LSU. Comes off the bench. He went 1 for 3 yesterday with a double.
Gets a hold of that one, hits it into the air outfield. Michael Robertson makes the catch, 1 down for Florida.
And he put a good stroke. Up and away. Drives it deep into the gap. Runs it down. Here's a huge first out.
Most important out to get, huh?
For me in the 9th inning, yes. A 3-run lead. All you want to do is throw strikes, get ahead, and get outs. And that ball was squared up and hit well, but deepest part of the ballpark goes down as an F8.
Ethan Groff steps in and hits that ball in the air left side. It's going to hang up and drop down for a base hit. Hung up in the air a long time, so a 1-out single for Ethan Groff, and you got arguably one of the best hitters on this team, Jacob Gonzalez, coming up.
This slider is a couple inches off the plate. Groff gets out on the front foot, hooks it down the left field line, and this is just a seeing eye single that finds a way to drop in a hole.
Yeah, kind of that no man's land out behind third base. Gonzalez swings through strike one. He's able to get 2 RBI, get his team on the board back in the 4th inning. Grounded out his last at bat.
He got the fastball that he wanted. He got the bat started, realized he was a little bit high and could not check his swing. Right guy, right time right here for them. Keep the rally going, looking for Gonzalez to find a way to get on base however he can do it.
Rips that pitch foul, so Neely ahead 1-2.
Well, just like you talked about earlier, these guys don't leave the box. Gonzalez fouls that ball down the line, doesn't move.
That's what he did against Caglione too. Gonzalez, inside pitch, fouls it off, stays right back, stays in the box.
Yes, he does. He's got that foot right on the edge of the back of the box. And just takes that foul ball, puts the foot right back down. Let's go. That's, you know what, as a pitcher, it's a little bit disturbing when the guy doesn't leave the batter's box and he keeps his eye on you. He's just staring at you.
Takes that ball the other way. I was just going to say Jacob Gonzalez is staring laser beams into Brandon Neely right now.
He really is. He's looking for any tell that he can get from Neely if he's tipping any pitches, and he's just eyeballing him, trying to get any piece of information he can get. And if I'm standing on the mound, I'm just walking away going, quit looking at me, just go somewhere.
Gonzalez lays off that pitch. It's a 2-2 count. You got Groff over at first base. For 11 in stolen base attempts for Groff this season. Fouls and fights off another one.
Gonzalez is just in a defense mode. He's able to spoil some pitches. Neely leaves something on the inner half. Gonzalez is going to run into it, but right now he is just staying alive, fouling off fastballs up and away, sliders that are coming in on his hands and breaking down and in. And he's able to spoil those. He's putting together a really nice at-bat. He's just looking for one pitch to hit. And if he can keep fouling balls off and get to 3-2, find a way to get a walk, he's doing whatever he can, and this is what you love to see out of your best player.
2-2 pitch, another spoiled one. I liked that conference from Heyman, Greg. I like that he went out there, maybe throw Gonzalez's timing off, maybe give Neely a second to breathe because he can feel the eyes, but I liked that conference.
I really did too. It was solid, and it's one of those where Neely's going to be getting a little frustrated if he's not already, and so then that comes into what I throw.
In the air, Heyman throws the helmet, makes the catch. 2 down for the Gators. Frustrating for Gonzalez after battling in that one.
Well, it was just a really good pitch that got in on the hands. And if you saw that, Gonzalez put his foot back in the box and started to get ready to hit again. You know, I think he knew that the ball was popped up to the catcher right behind him, but he still re-engaged the batter's box and was getting ready to hit. You know, might have been hoping or assuming that Heyman dropped the pop-up, but I love the at-bat.
Kemp Alderman, he steps in and takes strike one. So now Neely ahead in the count. Alderman threw a bullet from left field earlier in the game. We saw the arm, and we know the bat plays, leads his team in homers as he takes strike 2 on the outside part of the plate. So Neely ahead 0-2 in the count, bottom of the 9th, 2 down, and a runner on first for the Rebels.
Couple of perfectly located sliders down and away from Alderman. Let's see where they go on this 0-2 pitch.
Up, they go up and get the strikeout. Neely gets Alderman, and the Gators win this one 7-4. They sweep the Rebels this weekend, the first sweep since 1988, Greg, and up and down the lineup firing. Their bullpen coming and showing up strong too this weekend.